Chapter 1610. Su Yen was like an immortal and a devil, dominating the world. His eyes were cold and his aura devoured the starry sky. He forcibly blocked the attacks of more than 10 experts. Just this scene alone was enough to shock the world. Just what kind of tyrannical domain had he reached? What kind of fortune did he obtain during this 1 year of hibernation? In short, his roar exploded with rolling golden ripples that danced in the sky like golden stars. They smashed into the bodies of more than 10 experts. Ah! This group of people had disheveled hair and felt as if their bodies were about to explode. The blood and chi in their bodies trembled chaotically and became unstable. There were also people whose bodies exploded. Su Yan's roar shattered their bodies and they exploded into balls of bloody light. This devil, this group of experts with disheveled hair was frightened. Such a powerful formation had been destroyed by Su Yan and several experts had died. Boom! The Tianshui Saintess suppressed the fear in her heart and summoned a great killing weapon to clash with Su Yan's silver dragon sword. Although the third form of the silver dragon sword was very shocking and had locked all the secret treasures that were smashing towards Su Yan, the killing array immediately became unstable when the holy maiden brought out her killing weapon. Even the silver dragon sword was trembling slightly. At this moment, more than 10 secret treasures came to life one after another and were about to knock the silver dragon sword away. Su Yan's eyes were blazing like a young immortal king looking down on all life. The prestige of an expert poured out in full force and shook the heaven and earth. Su Yan exerted all his strength to revive and pushed forward a terrifying fluctuation that filled the entire battlefield. "I can't take it anymore." Some people trembled and shouted in fear. This was Su Yan's most powerful killing intent. The pressure made them feel suffocated. At this moment, they wanted to escape from the battlefield and get away from the young Devil King. However, the entire space-time was locked down and it was quite difficult to leave. It was as if a grand domain covered the sky and the sun, locking down the entire world and suppressing the battlefield. Kill. Su Yan's eyes were as intimidating as a heavenly blade. The murderous aura that sputtered out was too turbulent and could destroy everything. This was the release of the strongest power. An incomparable power was awakening and suppressing more than 10 experts. Even the Tianshui Saintess lost her composure. It was as if she saw a Kuan Pung leaving the sea and tearing the sky apart. An invincible monster was coming out of the gate to attack all enemies in this world. Kuan Pung divine ability, you've actually mastered it. Their expressions changed drastically. This was a peerless secret art with peerless offensive power. It might even be on par with the exalted saint technique. With such a valiant Su Yan protecting himself with this supreme divine ability, it was like adding wings to a tiger. At this moment, Su Yan was like the legendary Kuan Pung returning. The power he sprinkled down caused the dozen or so experts to tremble. One after another, their bodies began to crack and their bones began to shatter. They were about to be crushed alive. Kuan Pung divine ability. In Jun Hao and the others' eyes turned red. They also began to display their strongest battle strength. They were determined to obtain this great divine ability. In a short period of time, a large number of experts on the ancient ship went berserk. They joined forces with a group of Saint Child-level experts to suppress Yuan and the others until they were bleeding from their mouths and noses. They almost couldn't withstand the killing power of this group of people. Go all out and stop them for me. Don't let them participate in Su Yan's battle. Tensa roared. He Yen Ke, Miser, Yuan, Dali, Long Xiaoxiao, and other Peak Kings erupted with their strongest auras and fought with their lives on the line to buy time for Su Yan. As long as they could hold on and delay this group of people, they believed that Su Yan would be able to deal with the battlefield outside. This way, he would be able to freely kill Injun Hao and the other Saint Child level experts. Boom! The vast sea region seemed to have been cut off. A terrifying aura spread out, and the prehistoric giant was returning. Su Yen transformed into a Kuan Pung. The moment he attacked, a large number of experts exploded, and even their souls were crushed. The strongest divine ability of the Kuan Pung lineage was ferocious. Under the eruption of Su Yan's peak battle strength, it was even more ferocious and terrifying. Corpses exploded in the void and blood stained the sky. The rolling bone-chilling blood even dyed the vast sea region red. The gods were crying and the demons were roaring. The gods and demons were withering, and the Kuan Peng's divine ability was crushing everything. Go quickly. In the Demon Extermination Alliance, the strongest expert, the Tongtian young master, couldn't deal with the number one sword in the world and returned to the battlefield in a short time. Yin Jun Hao and the others were also blocked. In all directions, more than 20 experts who hadn't participated yet were terrified. They didn't want to continue participating. Su Yan's strength had already made them tremble. If they didn't leave now, once Su Yan survived, he would definitely settle the score with them. They had underestimated the celestial court. No one could have imagined that Su Yan and the others had been crazily hunting young fish seedlings. Each of them was nourished by the immortal body fluid and had extremely strong vitality. Even if they were attacked by a group of enemies, they could still hold on for a short time. Yuan and the others were risking their lives to stop the saint-level expert. Everyone could see that the Demon Extermination Alliance wouldn't be able to break the stalemate in a short time. Once Su Yan was given enough time, the situation would very likely be reversed. Of course, the biggest variables in this battle were that the mysterious Sky Saint didn't participate, and that the number one sword in the world chose to stand on Su Yan's side and become enemies with the Tongtian young master. No one will live. Everyone who participates, no one will be able to leave. The cold voice was like an explosion from hell, engulfing the entire battlefield and the vast sea. It was incomparably cold. Su Yan was peerlessly powerful like a peerless true immortal. The Kuan Peng's heavenly force rushed out from his flesh shell, transforming into millions of Kuan Peng talisman scripts that sealed the entire sea region and imprisoned the entire battlefield. Young Devil King, you are too arrogant. Do you want to keep all of us here? His words angered everyone. One had to know that there were still a few saint-level experts who hadn't participated yet. Did Su Yan think that he could defeat them all? What are you afraid of? Everyone, attack together. The strongest descendant of the Fengtian school came out and coldly said, Young Devil King, don't think that we are afraid of you. Everyone, attack together. I don't believe that he can endure until Yin Juanhao and the others are free. With so many of us, can't we kill one young Devil King? Kill him. More than 20 experts erupted. They knew the seriousness of Su Yan's words. Even if they left, they would still be punished in the future. In this battle, there were many experts gathered here. Could it be that they couldn't suppress one Su Yan? Kill. The shattered formation began to reform once again. The sea region changed color. Even the Tianshui Saintess and the 4 sons of Daesong joined forces. Together with a group of true immortals, this was a terrifying formation that could kill millions of people. Such a terrifying formation, the cultivators gathered in the distant sea region were all frightened by the murderous aura. The bloody battle continued on the ancient ship. Above the sea region, more than 20 experts joined forces. Together with the strongest descendants of the 4 immortal sects, one could imagine how ferocious the situation was. The Kuan Peng's force was suppressed to the point of dimming. This group of experts had completely gone mad. They unleashed their strongest power, wanting to severely injure Su Yan in one move. Roar! Su Yan let out a long roar. In this apocalyptic situation, he became even more majestic and shocking. Buzz! Su Yan's forehead emitted a sacred light as if a living scripture was reciting. Inside his sea of consciousness, soul energy leaked out like a sea of fire. It was densely packed with the supreme order and laws. The golden primordial spirit sitting cross-legged inside seemed to be giving birth to the sun immortal body. It released a terrifying soul energy that swept across the battlefield. Poof! A large group of experts felt as if they were struck by lightning. Their eyes turned black and their souls felt like they were about to be torn apart. They only felt that billions of yang flames filled the space and time, wanting to burn down their souls. Ah! Someone screamed. His primordial spirit felt like it was being burned in an immortal furnace. In the end, it couldn't resist and exploded. His body was also torn apart, dying in front of the aura of Su Yan's primordial spirit. This is impossible. Tianshui Saintess lost her composure. Wasn't Su Yan's primordial spirit severely injured? But now, his primordial spirit was much more terrifying. This was the primordial spirit of the peak of the true immortal realm. It was terrifyingly hot and suppressed her primordial spirit to the point that it was trembling. Even their primordial spirits were shaken by the deafening chanting of the Mother Sutra. In an instant, a few experts in this group died. The rest were greatly weakened and their primordial spirits were suppressed. Su Yan's forehead bone seemed to be giving birth to the Sun Saint Emperor. It had great divine power. The soul energy released was unbearable for the enemies. They started to feel dizzy and their primordial spirits were about to be torn apart. Boom! Su Yan's expression was cold. He soared into the sky. The moment his primordial spirit merged with his flesh shell, his aura surged violently. Yang energy filled the sky and shook the universe. You trash! How dare you try to kill me? Go to hell! In an instant, the three Su Yan bloomed and swept across the battlefield in a short period of time. It was a shocking scene. The entire battlefield was destroyed. Under the Qi 3 Pure One state, the sky collapsed and the earth cracked. The enemies were torn apart and turned into bloody light. No, the enemies were terrified. They felt that they were no match for a giant. Before they could react, Su Yan had already killed his way over. He left corpses along the way. Soon, the entire space-time was collapsing. The sea was dyed red with blood. The smell of blood was pungent. Among the experts who died at Su Yan's feet, there were outstanding descendants of the ancients, experts who killed themselves to enter the battlefield of Emperor Road, and the strongest descendants of the great sections. In short, since Su Yan had killed his way to this battlefield, more than 30 top experts had been killed by him. The few holy sons who were still alive were in despair. Just what kind of opportunity had he obtained? Why had his primordial spirit grown to this extent? The Mother Sutra of the Sun circulated in Su Yan's sea of consciousness. His primordial spirit's aura alone was enough to kill the strong enemies. I'll send you on your way. Su Yan charged into the starry sky. His flesh shell shone brighter than the sun. Boom! The three Su Yan merged into one and turned into a new figure. His aura was even more ridiculous. He punched out with an irresistible force. The Tianshui Saintess jade body cracked. The saintess of a great sect was in despair. She was severely injured and fled in panic. Tch! A shiny sword embryo flew out from the sky and cut off the Tianshui Saintess' head. Who's there? The Tianshui Saintess was in despair. Her head was separated from her body. She was terrified. Let me borrow your head. The Grand Saintess floated over and cut off the Tianshui Saintess' head with the sword embryo. She smiled at Su Yan and said, I'm here to sever the karma. Brother Demon King, you don't mind, right? Chapter 16:11. Supreme Saintess, you dare to kill me? The Tianshui Saintess was in despair. Her beautiful head was stained with blood. A peerless beauty of a generation, the Saintess of a great power, had been beheaded by the Supreme Saintess. This ghastly and bloody scene caused people to go crazy. The Tianshui Saintess was finished. Her head had been removed and she had no chance of surviving. No one had expected the Supreme Saintess to take her head at this critical moment. Some people felt chills all over their bodies. They clearly knew what happened in the Five Elements treasury, But they didn't expect the Supreme Saintess' response to be so tyrannical. She directly removed her head. Kill you? Why wouldn't I dare? Who do you think you are? Karma is just a cycle. The Supreme Saintess gently smiled. However, her beautiful smile caused the Tianshui Saintess' eyes to darken. She had once helped the Skirich young master to deal with the Supreme Saintess. Now, she had tasted the bitter fruit. She crazily screamed as her blood-stained head was about to explode. She would rather be killed by the young Devil King than fall into the hands of the Supreme Saintess. This was unacceptable. Su Yen didn't pay attention to the Supreme Saintess. His gaze was fixated on the other Saint Child-level expert. His pupils flowed with a golden brilliance that was even more brilliant than the sun. His killing intent was extremely heavy. Run! The three Saint Child-level experts were frightened and fled. Their previous lineup couldn't even suppress Su Yen, let alone them. It was impossible to stop Su Yen with just the few of them, unless Yin Juanhao and the others killed their way out. Supreme Saintess. At this moment, the battle in the distant sea region continued. It attracted everyone's attention. The world didn't expect Fan Jian's battle prowess to reach this level. His growth in these past few years was extremely shocking. The Sky Hegemon's sword replica in his hand was constantly surging with boundless killing intent. There were many wounds on Fan Jian's body. He was facing the Skirich young master with monstrous magical energy, not to mention the sky-reaching halberd in his strongest state. His battle prowess had reached the pinnacle. A casual blow from him could erupt with boundless destructive force. The cruel part was that there were some cracks on the Sky Hegemon's sword replica in Fan Jian's hand. This caused the hearts of the spectators from the sword faction to turn cold. Even the imitation of the sky-dominating sword was about to explode. It was hard to believe. Just what kind of material was the great halberd in his hand made of? Fan Jian's heart was bleeding. Although the Sky Hegemon's sword replica was not destroyed, there were many cracks on it, and its sharpness would be greatly reduced. The young master of the Tongtian sect didn't look too good either. He didn't expect the number 1 sword under the heavens to be so difficult to deal with. Their objective was to kill the young Devil King. The young master of the Tongtian sect didn't care about anything else. But now, he was obstructed and couldn't deal with the young Devil King in a short period of time. He was also paying attention to the battle. He did not expect the Taishang Saintess to come and kill the Tianshui Saintess. Although the Tongtian young master knew that there was a grudge between them, why did the Taishang Saintess appear at this moment? Could it be that the Tongtian young master's face darkened? His Tongtian immortal physique surged with a blazing light, and the Tongtian halberd he wielded became even more terrifying. Kill! He roared and hacked down with the duli. He had to get rid of Fan Jian quickly. You want to kill me? You're not strong enough. Fan Jian roared. His flesh shell was burning so much that it was about to explode. His maximum combat power surged, and the Sky Hegemon's sword art was activated to the extreme. His entire body was like a sword that could destroy the heavens and earth, resisting the power of the Tongtian sect young master. Then let's see how long you can last. The Tongtian sect young master was enraged. His eyes emitted a cold light, and his palm suddenly rose. He used a great mystique to attack Fan Jian. Tongtian sect young master, I'm not someone you can kill as you wish. Fan Jian shouted coldly and used the Kuan Peng mystique technique to resist the Tongtian sect young master. However, he was surprised when a Lingbo fairy appeared out of nowhere. She was like an otherworldly fairy, and her aura was so shocking that she tore open a space-time crack. Bam! A snow-white hand blocked the Tongtian sect young master's palm toward Fan Jian. A terrifying aura surged forth, and the Tongtian sect young master was forced to retreat. It was too sudden. Too high. The Saintess had arrived. Her expression was calm, and her beauty was breathtaking. The Tongtian sect young master's face darkened. This beautiful woman had always been the Tongtian sect young master's first wife. However, the Tongtian sect young master was so angry that his lungs were about to explode. She actually dared to help a man against him. Hee, Tongtian sect young master, my big brother's woman is here. Fan Jian's eyes turned, and he sent a sinister voice transmission. This made the Tongtian sect young master go crazy. Veins popped out on his forehead. He really suspected that she and Su Yan had some unspeakable secret. Otherwise, how could he explain the heavenly beast gloves? Back then, Su Yan had kidnapped the saintess right under his nose. Could it be that something had happened between them? No matter who it is, she's mine. Anyone who dares to touch her will be killed. The Tongtian sect young master's dermic powers surged. The Tongtian sect halberd in his hand shone, and immortal path talisman scripts shot toward Fan Jian. This is going to be a good show, the spectators in the distance discussed excitedly. The saintess had attacked again. The two shocking talents fought together. This was the pinnacle of the battle, and it was not inferior to the battle of the top 10. Even the saintess has been killed. This battle is going to shake the world. They're all successors of immortal sect orthodoxies. The spectators were tense. The battle was getting more and more tragic. The sea was dyed with blood. There were too many corpses at Su Yan's feet. One had to know that these were all first-class expert. Many of them died in battle, and their blood dyed the golden sea. Even the saintess had been killed. Kill. Su Yan waved his fist, and his aura swallowed 100,000 miles. He was as cold as a godfiend, and he charged toward the 3 Daesong sons who were escaping. In the process, Su Yan's speed was too fast. He activated the power of the 8 steps and traveled through time and space. He caught up with a saintess and punched. No. The destructive shockwave that rushed toward him made the successor of a great sect cry out in alarm. He tried to resist with all kinds of great magical powers, but Su Yan's fist was huge and peerless. It suppressed the starry sky and broke through all kinds of defenses. It made a bloody hole in his body. How strong was he? The saintess had tried her best to revive, but Su Yan punched a bloody hole in her body. He even punched out 9 times in a short period of time. This saint-child expert was in a tragic state. His body collapsed, and he exploded into a bloody light amidst endless despair and unwillingness. A saintess had been killed by Su Yan. He was like a god-fiend from hell, and his killing intent was bone-chilling. All this happened in a short time. He charged toward the other 2 Daesong sons again. I said, no one can escape. Su Yan walked in time and space. The power of the 8 steps made him peerlessly powerful. A huge golden hand rose up and covered thousands of miles of the sky with lightning speed, covering the sky and the sun. The palm was like the opening of the universe, and the 5 fingers were like giant pillars that supported the sky. The law of order appeared as if it was creating a boundless world. It slowly pressed down and suppressed the 2 Daesong sons at the same time. Stop him, quick! The 2 Daesong sons cried out in alarm. The boundless palm was boundless and slammed down. The boundless ocean exploded, and countless large cracks spread out. A majestic palm descended from the sky, containing a boundless aura, and suppressed the 2 fleeing saint sons. They were in despair. What kind of exuberant and peerless mana was this? No matter how powerful their divine abilities were, they could not break free from Su Yan's giant golden hand. They could only watch helplessly as the giant hand landed on their heads. Boom! A loud explosion sounded, shocking everyone's heart. The bloody scene was shocking. The 2 Daesong sons struggled madly and released all their trump cards and magical powers. However, they couldn't break through Su Yan's boundless power. As the 5 fingers closed, it was as if the universe exploded and chaos reappeared. No, spare me, don't kill me. I'm a saintess of the Fengtian sect. You won't have a good ending if you kill me. The 2 Daesong sons cried out in despair. They couldn't escape. The scene was like an eagle catching a chick. They were caught by Su Yan's hand. Even if the two saintesses had flesh shells as hard as the stars, they were still crushed by Su Yan's hand mercilessly. You won't live. I've said it before. If you dare to kill me, you'll have to bear the consequences, Su Yan said coldly. The 2 Daesong sons were crushed by Su Yan. Blood rained down from the sky. The scene was horrifying. A large number of true immortal overlords were killed. Their blood dyed the golden ocean. Su Yan stood on the battlefield like an invincible war emperor. He swept through the entire battlefield and killed all the enemies. Is the Devil King invincible? Even the 4 Daesong sons were killed by him. His combat strength is too terrifying. Such a terrifying lineup was destroyed by the young Devil King. What kind of opportunity did he get in this year? How did he change so much? His cultivation is about to reach the 6th heavenly layer of the true immortal realm. The spectators in the distant world were stunned. They felt a chill from head to toe. Someone looked at the figure standing on the blood-stained ocean. He was too tall and majestic. He was filled with a shocking divine aura. This was the supreme demeanor of a peerless expert. It was so powerful that it made people feel suffocated. The young Devil King, In Jun Hao's expression was cold. There was no fear in his eyes, only a little heavy. This enemy was too strong. He must be eliminated. At the same time, Su Yan also looked over. The battle on the ancient ship was extremely fierce. Yuan and the others were all heavily injured. They were about to die. Su Yan was really angry. Li was almost killed. The miser's wings were broken. One of Tensor's arms was chopped off. The scene was too horrible to look at. In order to buy time for him to kill the enemies, his brothers almost went all out. Kiki Zhu Yanghua smiled. He looked at Su Yan and said, "The reason why we've been fighting for so long is because there are not enough people to share the spoils. These people are not strong enough, but the tribes behind them are not weak. If we really kill you, the Kuan Peng secret technique will be made public." As soon as he finished speaking, Zhu Yanghua's aura became extremely strong. The sky bamboo primogenitor's roots in his body emitted a light that could open the sky. All kinds of unimaginable phenomena appeared. It was as if it had penetrated the entire universe. Young Devil King, you're dead meat. No matter how strong you are, you can't escape this calamity. In Jun Hao's aura also became ferocious. This made Yuan pale. This was the blooming of reincarnation. Yuan, who was already exhausted, was about to die of old age. He roared. The Aries art awakened and forcefully broke free from the influence of reincarnation. They've preserved their strength. Many people were shocked. Zhu Yanghua and In Jun Hao most likely had the strength of a young paragon. There were even many experts on the ancient ship who were eyeing them covetously. Originally, some people were afraid of Su Yan, but now Zhu Yanghua and In Jun Hao's powerful aura calmed them down. This battle was not lost yet. Zhu Yanghua, In Jun Hao, and the rest of you, Su Yan said coldly, come over. The experts were shocked. Was he going to challenge all of them? One had to know that there were 9 of the most outstanding disciples of the immortal sex on the ancient ship. How arrogant of you! Zhu Yanghua said coldly, Young Devil King, it's time for our grudge to end. In an instant, the void around him collapsed. His body seemed to have been planted in the universe, spitting out light. It was extremely brilliant and resplendent. Anyone could feel that he had the strength of a paragon. Did stealing the primogenitor's treasure give you the belief of being invincible? You think you're qualified to compete with me? Su Yan's eyes were cold. He strode forward. His aura became more and more shocking. He looked down at all the experts on the ancient ship and said coldly, I'll say it again. None of you will live. Su Yan's expression was cold. He charged towards the ancient ship alone. He wanted to face all the experts on the ancient ship alone. Chapter 16:12. Su Yen approached the blood-stained ancient ship. He took one step after another, bringing with him a terrifying tide of energy. It was as if the heavens were falling and the earth was rending. His steps were steady and his figure tall. His blood-stained hair draped over his shoulders. His awe-inspiring majesty flowed with resplendent radiance. Terrifying laws and orders emerged from the soles of his feet as he charged towards the ancient ship. The entire ancient ship trembled violently. It couldn't withstand Su Yan's aura and was on the verge of collapsing. The onlookers felt as if their guts were being torn apart. Just how powerful was the young Devil King? Just how powerful was he that he dared to challenge all the experts on the ancient ship alone? Without a doubt, his actions angered Zhu Yonghua and the other 9 Daesong sons. Although they admitted that Su Yen was powerful and extremely terrifying, wasn't it wishful thinking for him to face all of them alone? Dong dong dong. However, one step after another shook the heavens and earth. It was as if the drums of the heavens were beating, shaking the heaven and earth as it surged towards the ancient ship. There were dozens of heaven's prides on the ancient ship. The 9 saints' sons were still fine, but the others felt as if they were facing a great enemy. Some of them felt their hearts tremble as they sensed the overwhelming blood energy fluctuations. It was too intense and exuberant. It burned their bodies until they felt a stabbing pain. What kind of blazing aura was this? It assaulted their faces. Suddenly, they felt as if they had seen a demon lord crossing the heavens and charging towards the ancient ship to tear everyone apart. Not good. Zhu Yonghua's expression sank. He suddenly raised his large hand and struck towards a blurry space-time path. However, he was still a bit too slow. Su Yen used the power of the 8 escapes to forcefully open up a space-time path and lead Yuan and the others out. Cough cough. Yuan and the others were severely injured. They had been burning their life force to fight since the start of the battle. It was already quite impressive that they had managed to kill many enemies. De Li's injuries were the most severe. His body was riddled with holes and he was on the verge of death. He was so weak that he couldn't even speak. Tensor was missing an arm. His tall and majestic figure swayed as he left the ancient ship. They had recovered from their state and were all breathing heavily. Their injuries were too severe. He wants to escape. Yin Junhao roared in a low voice. However, as soon as he finished speaking, Su Yan's chi surged once again. His killing intent was as sharp as the heavenly saber, rushing towards the ancient ship. On the blood-soaked ancient ship, a large number of experts were trembling. Their skin and bones were about to be torn apart by Su Yan's killing intent. All of them felt a chill from head to toe as they felt a world-shocking pressure. It was extremely suffocating. At the same time, they were almost crazy. If they didn't get rid of this person, they would definitely be dealt with by Su Yen. They had to kill him. Now that things had come to this point, no one would give up. Since they had chosen to come, they had to bear the consequences. Young Devil King. A man with a shocking aura stepped forward and said coldly, "You are very strong, but do you think you can kill all of us by yourself? His courage is commendable. Huofeng, come back. You are no match for him," Yin Junhao said coldly. There was no doubt that the young Devil King was strong. It would not be easy to kill him. 1. Huofeng's entire body suddenly burst into flames. This was the flame of the immortal Tao burning. Moreover, there were talismans blooming. The laws of order interweaved, burning the void until it turned into a huge black hole. He was like a king of fire. Everyone knew how strong Huofeng was. He was an expert on the emperor list. The Hua clan's inheritance was also extremely ancient. This clan was not inferior to the immortal clan. No matter. Huofeng said confidently, "I will exchange a few blows with him. This whetstone is too rare. Maybe it can help me break through a shackle in my cultivation." Many people's hearts trembled. Huofeng's confidence was really strong. He treated Su Yen as a whetstone and had the confidence to exchange blows with him. Of course, Huafeng was not arrogant enough to kill the young Devil King. He knew that this person was very strong. Now, Huafeng wanted to exchange blows with this person to stimulate his potential. In short, Jun Hao and the others were nearby. Huafeng did not think that he would encounter any trouble. Hong. On the ancient ship, Huafeng rushed out. The flames on his body became more and more brilliant, burning with the light of immortal flames. His flesh shell also surged with raging flames and immortal splendor. It was quite powerful. As expected, Huafeng cultivated the immortal flame body. No wonder he dared to fight against the young Devil King. Some people were endlessly shocked. This was the immortal flame body among the supreme precious bodies. It was powerful and flourishing. His body was like an immortal flame that could burn through 10,000 Tao. His body was also like a condensed immortal sun in the sky, blossoming with immortal flame radiance. Immortal flame heaven-burning technique. Huafeng roared and rushed over murderously. He released his most powerful battle strength. A sea of flames was born. Everything became blurry. The people of the world could not see the battle scene clearly. They only saw the sky full of immortal flames enveloping Su Yan. They burned fiercely, symbols blossomed, order filled the sky. This was Huafeng's most powerful battle strength. However, just as the rolling immortal flames burned Su Yan's flesh shell, Huafeng was stunned. He saw Su Yan's forehead bone shining, as if it was nurturing the Sun Saint Emperor. A primordial spirit that was like a body of flesh and blood spewed out light. The sky full of immortal flames was swallowed by him in one breath. Mother Sutra, Huafeng's eyes were red. He was almost crazy. He saw the aura of the Heaven and Earth Mother Sutra and the fluctuations of the Sun Mother Sutra. This kind of supreme sutra made the primordial spirit swallow the sky full of immortal flames in one breath. In an instant, a world-shocking aura bloomed. It quickly stirred up and burst the universe. Everyone felt a chill from head to toe. They saw Su Yan punch forward, imprisoning Huafeng's body along the way. The latter was in despair and fear. The power of immortal flames he was so proud of was swallowed by Su Yan's primordial spirit. What qualifications did he have to resist Su Yan? How is this possible? Everyone was stunned. The powerful Huafeng, the descendant of the fire tribe who said he would use Su Yan as a whetstone, had his head blown apart by Su Yan's fist. His entire flesh shell was torn apart. What was this? Did he come here to deliver his head? But wasn't Su Yan's strength a bit too ridiculous? Why was Huafeng killed by thunder? What happened just now? Huafeng miserably cried out. His torn-apart body emitted an intense pain that nearly drove him insane. He wanted to roar out loud and spread the news that Su Yan had grasped the Sun Mother scripture, but it was useless. Su Yan's fist was too powerful and tyrannical. Even though Huafeng's cultivation was superb and his life force was tenacious, he was only able to struggle for a moment before his flesh shell burst apart, turning into a mass of blood. Am I not dreaming? The distant onlookers were petrified. Huafeng had been killed with a single fist? This was too unreal. They all thought they were seeing things. Was this the same fire tribe genius who used Su Yan as a whetstone to force out his potential? He was killed by Su Xianren with a single fist. The young demon king, how can he be so strong? The blood-stained ancient ship was silent. Jun Hao and the others also found it hard to believe, especially those who were familiar with Huafeng. They knew that he was not a simple person, but now he was killed by Su Yan with a single fist. This was too inconceivable and too shocking. Whoosh 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 at the next moment, something that left everyone dumbfounded happened. Because on the ancient ship, the 5 great experts left, and they ran away at lightning speed. However, these people did not run very far. Only a breath of time passed. The sea began to tremble, and a terrifying figure appeared. He was in human form, his expression cold and his black hair loose. He came and blocked the 5 powerhouses. He coldly said, "I said that none of you will live. Since you dared to kill me, you must bear the consequences." The young demon king. The 5 powerhouses were terrified. Since they chose to flee, it meant that their combat strength was inferior to Huafeng's. Now that they saw this fierce person standing in front of them, the 5 powerhouses felt despair. Su Yan suddenly lifted his large foot and descended from the sky. He was like an emperor who was the master of all kings. He brought along a storm that caused the collapse of the starry sky as he stomped down. The 5 great experts were no match for them. No matter how world-shocking their methods were, the energy substance they produced collapsed and disintegrated. Even this part of the sea was blasted apart. Tens of thousands of stormy waves rolled and surged on the surface of the sea. Idiots! Yin Juanhao and the others' faces were gloomy. They did not even think of helping them resist Su Yan. The escape of the 5 powerhouses had already made them lose face. With so many powerhouses gathered together, did they still need to fear the young demon king? To put it bluntly, even if they could not stop the young demon king, who could stop them from leaving together? Bang bang bang! The 5 powerhouses exploded one after the other. Su Yan's methods were extremely bloody. His cold eyes emitted a cold light. He had no mercy. The path of the strong was the survival of the fittest. If he did not obtain the Sun Mother scripture, this battle would be extremely difficult, and there would be a crisis of death. Immediately after, on the other side of the sea, a shocking storm exploded. The 3rd Su Yan appeared. Under the Qi 3 Pure One state, the 3 Su Yan stood in the sky. "You are too arrogant." Zhu Yanghua's cold eyes stared at the 3 Su Yan who were closing in on the ancient ship. Before they could make a move, Su Yan took the initiative to attack. The 3 Su Yan's expression became colder and colder. His essence, energy, and spirit were too terrifying. The vast sea had already begun to tremble. In the distant sea, many people were shocked. They could clearly see Su Yan's conviction. This was the aura of invincibility. It could sweep away thousands of soldiers and dominate the world. Su Yan took the initiative to approach. His conviction became more and more terrifying. What young supreme being! What successor of a great sect! At this moment, they were like corpses in front of Su Yan. Big Brother is getting stronger and stronger. Dali's blood boiled. He frantically absorbed the immortal body liquid to recover. Su Yan's long hair danced in the wind. He was tall and majestic. Every one of his body emitted terrifying energy ripples as he rushed towards the ancient ship. "Attack, he is stalling for time." Yin Junhao roared. Seeing the heavily injured Yuan, these people recovered surprisingly quickly. They did not hesitate at all. They took out a large amount of immortal body liquid to nourish their bodies and replenish their life force. This was immortal body liquid. It was used to recover extremely quickly. "Come and fight." Su Yan let out a long roar. The 3 mighty figures crossed the void and attacked. Suddenly, this sea formed a world-shaking scene. It was as if 3 great ancient stars were dyed in blood. They crossed the sea with a rumble and arrived in front of the ancient ship. Gods and devils danced chaotically, fighting bloody battles in the sky. The enemies on the ancient ship also released their strongest auras and attacked in group. A great battle between the peak was about to break out. When they truly collided and attacked, the blood-stained ancient ship could not withstand the destructive power and directly exploded. Yin Junhao directly used the reincarnation divine ability to suppress Su Yan. Su Yan let out a long roar. He released energy fluctuations that were even more turbulent than the sea and attacked the 2nd Su Yan. "Kill!" They roared, their eyes cold. They really did not believe that Su Yan could block such a great lineup. With 9 Daesong experts working together, who could break this situation? They did not believe that Su Yan was really terrifying. He could crush everything. Chapter 16:13. The ancient ship exploded. The murderous aura surged violently and drowned the entire heaven and earth. The boundless sea was trembling, and the starry sky was undulating. The energy storm that was produced was truly shocking. Who could match this kind of supreme murderous aura? It was almost enough to destroy the heaven and earth in a single move, causing a great calamity. The onlookers were terrified. The young Devil King dared to take the initiative to attack in this situation. How powerful was he exactly? Quick, hurry up and recover. Yuan's eyes were wide open in anger. No matter how good Su Yan was at fighting, it would be hard for him to maintain his current state for a long time. They had to recover a certain amount of strength quickly so that they could support Su Yan at the crucial moment. The power of Kuan Peng in the destructive situation, the immortal weapons would be destroyed in a single move. However, the three Su Yan's blazing body were overflowing with terrifying heavenly power. It was as if the slumbering Kuan Peng was awakening, and it opened up its own unrivaled domain. The strongest combat power was unleashed. Billions of Kuan Peng symbols burned, outlining the power of three Kuan Pengs. Each Kuan Peng was like a living creature. Their bodies were huge, and they could tear apart the sky and the sea. It was as if the stars in the sky were withering. Kill! A deep roar exploded. The three Su Yan pushed the Kuan Peng's heavenly power and charged towards the enemies with a great aura that suppressed everyone. Almost in an instant, some people cried out in fear. Even their flesh shells were destroyed. They couldn't withstand the attack of the Kuan Peng's power. They felt as if they were crushed by a huge monster. They were like small stones that collided with a huge mountain. It was a shocking scene. The three Kuan Pengs swooped down. The heavenly power was vast and mighty. It was as if even a true dragon was destroyed in a single move. Their conviction was too strong. It was as if they wanted to prove their Tao through killing. One after another, the cultivators were incapable of holding on and their fleshly bodies exploded. They all died wretchedly. Under the bombardment of such terrifying heavenly powers, the entire ocean region roiled and the heavens and earth lost their luster as they were completely suppressed. This was the aura that could swallow the whole world. Someone couldn't help but cry out, "The young Devil King is too powerful." This is the combat power of a young supreme being. Without this domain, even if a little bit of energy leaked out, it would be extremely difficult for ordinary people to resist. Blood rained down from the sky. At least 4 true Immortal Realm experts spurted out blood. They couldn't withstand the suppression of the Kuan Peng's heavenly power. The Qi turning 3 and the Kuan Peng's divine ability. 2 unparalleled divine abilities were unleashed, carrying with them the boldness to suppress the battlefield. One had to admit that this scene was quite shocking. The onlookers felt their scalps go numb. They knew very well how powerful and abnormal these people were. Reincarnation power! Jun Hao let out a loud roar, pushing the light of the Tao of reincarnation into the sky as if he was trying to construct the 6 paths of reincarnation here. The waves of energy released by the 6 paths of reincarnation darkened the heaven and earth as they surged towards Kuan Peng's heavenly powers. If they allowed Su Yan to continue killing like this, other than the 9 sons of Daesong, no one else would be able to survive. Even if they could suppress Su Yan, it would still be a great humiliation. Suppress. Jun Hao unleashed the underworld's strongest divine ability. This was also known as the strongest divine ability in history, the Tao of Reincarnation. It was exclusive to the underworld. The moment the Tao of Reincarnation was unleashed, the entire sky was filled with reincarnation light rain. Originally, Jun Hao wanted to suppress the 3 Kuan Pengs in one go. However, the strength of this divine ability shocked him. Its offensive power was unparalleled. Just by suppressing 1 Kuan Peng, the Tao of Reincarnation almost couldn't withstand it. At the same time, he was also envious. The value of this divine ability was too high. Once he obtained it, it would definitely become the secret technique of the underworld. Boom! Zhu Yanghua's huge hand rose up, revealing a terrifying aura. It was like the incarnation of an ancestor who wanted to kill his way through the river of time. It forcefully suppressed the other Kuan Pung. What? At this moment, Yin Jun Hao's expression changed drastically. The Tao of reincarnation that was suppressing the Kuan Pung swayed. Vaguely, Yin Jun Hao also caught a familiar aura. Was it the smell of reincarnation? Could it be? Yin Jun Hao's expression was extremely ugly. Could it be that Su Yan had mastered the Tao of reincarnation? However, this was a divine ability exclusive to the underworld. It was impossible for outsiders to learn it. Could it be that Su Yan had come into contact with the ultimate treasure medicine, the elixir of reincarnation? Boom! The entire Tao of reincarnation suddenly collapsed. Su Yan charged forward like the reincarnation of the Kuan Pung. He raised his fist and punched at Yin Jun Hao. "Do you think I'm afraid of you? Come and fight." Yin Jun Hao roared like a demon. His hair danced in the wind and his corpse aura surged. His physical body was also indestructible. He directly chose to meet Su Yan head-on. One had to know that the underworld was extremely good at physical bodies. They were not inferior to the immortal race. Although Yin Jun Hao didn't have the strongest reincarnation body in the underworld, his physique was not to be underestimated. "Young Demon King, give me your life." In another battlefield, Zhu Yanghua's aura was blazing. His body spewed out heavenly radiance. His mouth and nose sputtered out monstrous killing order as he charged towards Su Yan. In the third battlefield, a large number of experts joined forces and charged towards the third Su Yan. In short, the situation was shocking. The three great Su Yan fought at the same time. This was his craziest state. Under the three Pure One's chi, he fought against all the enemies in the battlefield. Kill! A group of experts followed Yin Jun Hao and charged towards the first Su Yan. The scene was shocking. The two great Injias with terrifying physical bodies fought head-on. It was like two cosmic stars colliding with each other. Terrifying energy storms flowed out, wreaking havoc between heaven and earth. It also spread out in all directions. Puff! The group of cultivators who followed Yin Jun Hao trembled. Their bodies trembled, and some of them were sent flying. This kind of battle is not something we can participate in. They were terrified. It was equivalent to a battle between supremes. If they wanted to participate in it without sufficient combat strength, they would be courting death. They felt a great sense of defeat. The gap between them was getting bigger and bigger, and it was impossible to make up for it. In the future of the Emperor's Road, could it be that Su Xianren really had a place in the top 10 strongest cultivators? "Young Demon King, I want to see how tough your physical body is." Yin Jun Hao roared. An even more ferocious punch burst out. As one of the strongest descendants of the underworld, Yin Jun Hao's physical body was extremely strong and domineering. Dark energy bloomed, covering the power of reincarnation. The power of his punch was Su Yan. "Kill!" Su Yan also roared. His disheveled hair fluttered in the wind. His moves were grand, and he formed fist seals to fight against Yin Jun Hao's dark fist techniques. Boom! The two big fists collided. In a short period of time, they had clashed more than 10 times. Blood was spilled from every punch, and the scene was too horrible to look at. In the end, Su Yan was extremely powerful. His primordial spirit shone with primordial spirit light, penetrating his flesh shell and stimulating his battle physique. Holy light scattered the clouds, and his blood chi was golden. He was like a great demon king. This attack was unparalleled, and the fist seals were peerless. It was like a golden age, and it shattered everything. In Yin Jun Hao's eyes, nothing existed except for Su Yan's fist. Su Yan's fist was filled with an invincible aura that suppressed the universe, causing Yin Jun Hao's fist to break into pieces. His body trembled violently and thick blood spurted out. Su Yan was extremely wild. His primordial spirit had stepped into the peak of the true immortal realm. When he was in his strongest state, There were very few who could compete with him in terms of physical strength. The world was shocked. The powerful Injun Hao was no match for Su Yan at all. He was sent flying by Su Yan's dozens of punches. Even the bamboo sunflower is suppressed. How strong is the young Demon King's physical body? To be exact, because the young Demon King's primordial spirit is too strong. He seems to be standing at the peak of the true immortal realm. Su Yan's primordial spirit was severely injured in the past, but now, his primordial spirit has become his most terrifying trump card. The situation of the second battlefield changed greatly. Originally, the bamboo sunflower had a supreme technique that could suppress Su Yan's incarnation. But when they really fought, the latter's primordial spirit and physical body fused together. Holy light surged like a burning sun immortal furnace. Even if the current bamboo sunflower was powerful and shocking, he was still beaten back by Su Yan's incarnation. His situation was not much better than Injun Hao's. Even the primordial spirit light that shone down from Su Yan's forehead was terrifying. How can your primordial spirit be so strong? Bamboo Sunflower's face was gloomy. He could not believe that even his primordial spirit was suppressed. This made Bamboo Sunflower's combat strength suffer greatly, and he felt powerless. If Su Yan alone is able to sweep through the entire battlefield, he would really be the biggest joke in the world. You're thinking too much. The young Demon King's 3 incarnations' auras are obviously weakened. After all, the enemy he encountered is extremely strong. The Qi 3 Pure One state is very harmful to him. The whole battlefield was quickly magnified. The battle had entered a white-hot state. A large number of secret treasures rotated in the air, trying to interfere with Su Yan. But it was useless. Jin Yang Yun's copper furnace, Milky Way gourd, silver dragon sword, these 3 treasures were protecting Su Yan. The battlefield was also divided. After a long time, Su Yan's combat strength was somewhat depleted. But this did not affect his combat strength. Finally, Yuan and the others rushed over. They used the immortal body liquid to recover a lot of vitality in a short time and charged into the battlefield. You came at the right time. The 3 incarnations shone at the same time. In a short time, they fused into one, turning into a new majestic figure. In an instant, his aura was terrifying. His roar shook the whole battlefield. A true immortal screamed. He was shaken by Su Yan and then exploded. Who dares to fight me? Su Yan looked around disdainfully. His black hair danced in the wind. He released his robbery path secret art. The whole world was filled with bloody light. Many enemies were terrified. They coughed up blood. Their souls were about to be dominated by the robbery path secret art. He's even stronger, these people's voices trembled. He was even more terrifying than before. He revealed a strong belief. He did not care about any enemy and crushed them all. Kill. Su Yan was still fighting. Every time he revived, he revealed a majestic aura that shook the sea. Was this a true immortal? Powerful beyond compare. Qi 3 Pure Ones merged into one. In a short time, Su Yan's combat strength was terrifying. The energy tide that covered the sky and earth surged forward, destroying everything in its path. Some enemies were like scarecrows. They could not withstand the aura that came at them. Su Yan pushed forward and killed his way to Injun Hao. Injun Hao also entered a frenzied state. He released his supreme bloodline, and the underworld's scriptures were activated. He released the most terrifying aura and attacked Su Yan. There was no way back. He could only go forward. Otherwise, he would die here. Kill your way to invincibility. Injun Hao roared. His belief was shocking. He was not crippled. Instead, he became stronger as he fought. In his final state, he pushed his divine power to the sky and attacked. Who dares to be invincible? Su Yan's eyes were wide open. His aura swallowed everything. The primordial spirit between his eyebrows bloomed, causing Su Yan's flesh shell to burn. It was like the awakening of the holy Emperor of the Sun. In an instant, a terrifying wave surged. It was more powerful than the sea and shook the world. Bang! Jun Hao screamed. He, who was charging forward bravely, was beaten by Su Yan until he spat out blood. No matter how strong he was suppressed by Su Yan. Chapter 16:14. Jun Hao's hair was disheveled, and his body was riddled with wounds. He was the strongest person in the Demon Extermination Alliance, and now he was beaten so badly by Su Yan that it was unbearable to look at. However, he did not despair. He let out a roar from hell that could devour one's bones and soul. "I won't lose to you, young Devil King. I haven't lost yet." Su Yan's suppression did not shatter Jun Hao's conviction. He let out an angry roar, and his entire flesh shell surged with black light. It was as if a phoenix that had fallen into hell had awoken. His supreme bloodline was burning, and the most terrifying aura of life was emitted. Boom! He suddenly stretched out his hand and pulled out a black Tao diagram, attacking Su Yan. During this process, the Tao diagram swiftly enlarged, and it instantly formed the 9th hell purgatory. It was like a condensed hell was lying there, and it emanated the fluctuations of purgatory that covered the entire sky. It covered the entire space and enveloped Su Yan. Map of hell. The blazing sparrow was shocked. Although this Tao diagram wasn't the real deal, it was still an extremely rare weapon of the underworld. There was not only one strongest treasure in hell, and the map of hell was one of them. Legend had it that this was the life treasure of the Lord of Hell. It had been floating in hell for a long time, and after being nourished by the Qi of heaven and earth, it grew stronger day by day. It was hard to imagine how powerful it was. Although the Tao diagram that Jun Hao took out was only a replica, it emitted the light of 3,000 gods and demons. It opened the 9 hells purgatory, as if a reincarnation region that ruled the world was born. Bang, 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 3,000 demonic gods and devils appeared in the sky. Each of them extended a demonic god's hand that was covered in laws and rules to suppress Su Yan. The aura of purgatory of death rushed over, and even Su Yan's powerful body trembled as if it was about to collapse. He was shocked. This Tao diagram was indeed powerful, and should be a grand heavenly level treasure. It covered the sky and covered the sun, cutting through space and time. In this purgatory of hell, all life auras were suppressed. The 3,000 gods and demons were like the hands of the death god that wanted to drag Su Yan to the yellow springs. Su Yan's eyes widened as he opened his heavenly eye in the darkness. Energy surged throughout his body as lightning flashed and thunder rumbled. The initial scripture also began to circulate, and he was like a god floating in hell. He swung his fists, one punch after another, at the hands of the 3,000 gods and devils. "Kill!" Su Yan roared, his blood boiling. Tyrannical rend. His speed was just too fast. In a short period of time, he had already unleashed over 10,000 fists. His aura was also boundlessly violent, as if he were a supreme god of war raising his fist and punching the heavens, wanting to destroy the purgatory of hell. Rumble! The dark purgatory shuddered violently as it was unable to contain Su Yan's terrifying life force. This was because not only was he recovering, but the Milky Way gourd was also suspended above Su Yan's head. From the gourd's mouth, a vast expanse of cosmic stars was spewing out. They revolved around the starry river and crashed into the map of hell. "I am the Lord of Hell, I shall suppress all enemies." Jun Hao screamed like a mad demon. His figure actually merged with the map of hell. His entire body bloomed with the light of purgatory as he gathered the power of the entire map of hell, crushing the stars in the sky. The pitch-black hand also followed closely behind, covering Su Yan. "I am the king of the universe, I shall rule over all things in this world." Su Yan's reply made Jun Hao's lungs explode. His eyes were about to pop out of their sockets as he roared, "Talk after you break it, young devil king." This is the map of hell. Although it is not the real thing, it contains the essence of the great Tao of hell. It is not so easy to break it. As you wish. Su Yen rose from the ground. It was as if the golden age of the universe had been reborn, and the initial scripture was formed. With the order of the scripture, the universe was in chaos. The sun, moon, stars, flowers, birds, fishes, and insects all had the Milky Way gourd floating in it. In a short period of time, Su Yan's aura soared by a large margin. The entire purgatory became a little blurry. A terrifying figure loomed in the darkness. The Kuan Peng's heavenly power surged out from his flesh shell, breaking apart the darkness in an instant. The purgatory seemed to have exploded. A shocking figure with a flesh shell filled with Kuan Peng's heavenly power smashed the purgatory of hell into pieces. Even the hand that Junhao swung down was broken, and blood flowed all over the ground. Reconstruct for me. Junhao endured the pain of his broken arm. He used the strongest power of the map of hell to reconstruct the broken space of the purgatory. He wanted to seal Su Yen inside once again. Break for me. Su Yen let out a loud roar. The light of his Yuan spirit surged out from the top of his head. It was so powerful that it could swallow a bull. It directly smashed down on the entire dark sky. Kill. Su Yan's Yuan spirit blazed like a sun immortal armor. His fist imprint was shocking. It was accompanied by the aura of the Mother Scripture. It crossed the river of time and space, and broke through Junhao's sea of consciousness. How can your Yuan spirit be so strong? Junhao screamed in fear and pain. His psyche ocean was on the verge of collapsing, and the black Yuan Shen in his body was flickering. After suffering such a terrifying strike, his Yuan Shen cracked open one after another on his body. What is this? Junhao was in despair. He had caught the aura of the Mother Scripture. It was like the sun immortal scripture was being recited in front of his Yuan spirit. Every syllable suppressed his Yuan spirit. In the end, scripture runes filled the sky, suppressing his Yuan spirit to the point that it was about to explode. One had to know that he had also cultivated the Yuan spirit heavenly technique of the hell. It was also the strongest technique in the immortal heavenly domain. But now the outcome was cruel. His Yuan spirit was suppressed. He even caught the aura of the Mother Scripture of heaven and earth. Could it be? Junhao was in disbelief. Su Yen definitely didn't have such a powerful scripture in the past. Then, it was very likely that he had obtained the fortune of the Golden Sea region. Could it be that the Mother Scripture of heaven and earth was hidden in the sea region? Thinking of this, Junhao was about to go crazy. His eyes turned red. How many good things did Su Yen obtain? The Kuan Peng divine ability and the Mother Scripture. These were great fortunes that even the immortal sex would fight for. But now, they had all fallen into the hands of Su Yen. Su Yen walked towards Junhao step by step. His steps were like the purgatory of the hell. Be **starred. Junhao was furious. He couldn't escape. His Yuan spirit was suppressed by Su Yen. If he wanted to leave before, Su Yen wouldn't have been able to stop him. However, Junhao's primordial spirit had been suppressed by Su Yen and his combat strength had fallen to its weakest point. Now, he would be lucky if he could survive, let alone escape. Just as Su Yen raised his palm and was about to suppress Junhao, a powerful figure barged into the map of hell and arrived in front of Junhao with extreme speed. Dao brother, save me! Junhao was ecstatic. Noticing Zhu Yanghua's arrival, he felt as though he had met his savior. Although Junhao had an invincible heart, saving his life was more important now. Zhu Yanghua's expression was cold and emotionless. He didn't respond to Junhao's words. His next move frightened Junhao. Zhu Yanghua was here, but he wasn't here to help him. Instead, he took out a huge cauldron and suppressed Junhao inside. Junhao was in a daze. He couldn't believe his own eyes. Because Zhu Yanghua suppressed him. Did he know what he was doing? If news of this got out, the underworld would probably tear the heavenly bamboo apart. Although the heavenly bamboo lineage used to be powerful, it was rumored that something had happened to their progenitor, and that he might have perished. If that were the case, then the heavenly bamboo lineage could no longer be considered the strongest immortal sect. No one will know what happened in the map of hell. Moreover, even if the young devil king said that I suppressed you, how many people would believe him? Zhu Yanghua thought to himself. He took the cauldron and left the map of hell at lightning speed. Get back here! Su Yan was furious. Everything happened in a short period of time. He didn't expect Zhu Yanghua to suppress Yin Junhao. This matter had overturned his thinking. Rumbling roars exploded. Ripples surged into the sky, destroying everything in its way as it rushed towards Zhu Yanghua. Boom! The entire space-time exploded. Su Yan used the power of the 8 escape technique to lock down the spacetime. He couldn't let Zhu Yanghua escape from him. Yin Junhao was very important to him. He might be able to ask him about the reincarnation medicine. The map of hell is broken. Is Yin Junhao defeated? I don't know. Zhu Yanghua escaped. His speed is so fast. The spectators in the distant sea were dumbfounded. They didn't see Yin Junhao. Could it be that he was defeated by the young devil king? Now Zhu Yanghua had escaped. His speed was getting faster and faster. Even his aura was getting more terrifying. What's that? Su Yan was shocked. The power he used to rush towards Zhu Yanghua was being crushed, layer by layer. With his powerful strange gate power, he could clearly see that there was a black bamboo growing inside Zhu Yanghua's body. It was bathed in the blood of the heavens and emitted the sound of ghosts crying and gods howling. It was even accompanied by the sound of worship. Was this the sky bamboo ancestor's item? How did it become like this? Very quickly, Su Yan sensed it and his face turned pale. The black bamboo had many strong souls and obsessions. These were the strong practitioners that he had just killed. Without a doubt, this group of people was very strong. But Zhu Yanghua had extracted the Yin souls and remnant thoughts from their corpses and used them to cultivate the sky bamboo ancestor's root. Was it trying to evolve into some kind of demonic creature? One had to admit that this thing was very shocking. The black bamboo was only a foot tall, but it was like a demonic seed bathed in the blood of the heavens. Even the slightest bit of its aura was enough to cause gods and devils to howl and the heavens to weep blood. Stop right there for me! Su Yan was enraged. He opened his mouth and spat out a beam of blood essence light. It rumbled as it shot towards Zhu Yanghua, wanting to stop him. However, the black bamboo within Zhu Yanghua's body was very powerful. With a slight tremble, its power was terrifying beyond compare. It shattered Su Yan's killing power. It's useless. Su Yan, just you wait. In the future, I will come and kill you. Zhu Yanghua's speed was very fast. He rapidly distanced himself from Su Yan. He was looking forward to Yin Junhao's Yin soul source strength. When the time came, the seed would evolve and become even stronger. He believed that in the future, he would be able to crush Su Yan. Su Yan's eyes widened in anger. He could not let him leave. He crossed the vast sea and chased after Zhu Yanghua. At this time, Su Yan saw a blood-soaked figure rapidly approaching from the distant sea. Su Yan shouted, "Stop him for me, quick!" Fan Jian was suddenly alerted. He immediately saw Zhu Yanghua. "Brat, stop right there for me!" Fan Jian took out the tattered replica of the Sky Tyrant's sword and furiously slashed at Zhu Yanghua. This strike was extremely frightening. The surface of the sea was cut apart. The sword light that filled the sky was released. It was tyrannical as it rushed towards Zhu Yanghua. Author's note: the annual meeting has been going on for the past few days. Chapter 16:15. Zhu Senghua's face darkened. He never imagined that he would run into Fan Jian, the world's #1 sword. his fame spread far and wide. Currently, Fan Jian was riddled with wounds, but once he erupted with all his strength, a single sword slash would shatter his body. I have to leave this place as soon as possible. Zhu Senghua's eyes bloomed with a cold light. His body began to change as he fused with the foot-tall black bamboo. Bang! A hair-raising aura spread out from Zhu Senghua's body. This was a surging blood light that was filled with the source of death and destruction. Fan Jian was amazed. He saw a chaos ancient demon rush out from the sea of blood. This was the current Zhu Senghua. His body emitted the sounds of worship, and all sorts of phenomena accompanied him. Ah! Zhu Senghua roared out loud. His entire being had changed. Blood light rushed into the heavens, turning the world dark red. The energy fluctuations were too intense. Yin spirits filled the skies as they chanted sutras. A terrifying aura spread out, causing the sea to tremble as if it would overturn everything. Bang! Fan Jian's Sky Tyrant sword was directly blocked. What the hell is this? Fan Jian was shocked. What sort of treasure had Zhu Senghua fused with? How could his aura become like this? It was savage and chaotic. The Yin spirits that filled the skies seemed to come back to life. His aura was so vast that it was like a collapsing galaxy. Kill! Zhu Senghua soared into the skies. His entire body turned dark, as if he were a demon that had rushed out from purgatory. The strength of his casual strike filled space and time. The black bamboo gave him a heaven-defying strength that seemed to howl through the heavens and also shatter the heavens. Sky Tyrant Sword Art! Fan Jian coldly shouted. His body that was riddled with scars began to shine. Then, he fused together with the tattered Sky Tyrant sword replica and released the most tyrannical source of slaughter as he struck out at the dark light of destruction. This was a shocking scene. The sword light was like a sea and the darkness was like an abyss as they attacked each other. This was a collision of the peak. No one thought that Zhu Senghua would be so strong. He was like a demon god that had fallen into purgatory that had come back to life. The dark light that filled the skies smashed into him. But at the same time, Fan Jian was not made of paper. It was impossible for Zhu Senghua to defeat him in a single exchange. Why aren't you scramming? If you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish. The bamboo sunflower was furious. Bloody light overflowed from its entire body. The black bamboo that merged with it released terrifying fluctuations, collapsing the entire space-time. It was as if a great killing weapon was activated, making the vast sea region rise and fall violently. This was originally the root of the sky bamboo primogenitor, the most terrifying supreme treasure of a primogenitor. Now that it had turned into a demonic creature, its aura was frightening. Facing this aura, Fan Jian felt like he had fallen into purgatory. Looking down on me? I'm going to suppress you and see what the hell you are. Fan Jian was infuriated. Although he had been severely injured in the battle with the Tongtian young master, he still had his battle strength. How could he not be able to suppress Zhu Yanghua? Chi. The Sky Hegemon sword art was operating at its peak state. His blood-stained body was steaming with thick sword light, and every sword light was exuding a peerless power. The sword radiance that filled the sky split the darkness apart. His powerful aura could be seen at a glance. This was the sword sect's strongest heavenly technique, the Sky Hegemon sword art. It was also greatly related to the sword sect's strongest supreme treasure, the Sky Hegemon sword art. Ever since Fan Jian stepped into the true immortal realm, coupled with his sword body technique, the Sky Hegemon sword art's damage to his body was already very low. He could use this terrifying killing technique for a long time. In the peak state of the Sky Hegemon sword art, a blurry sword body appeared behind Fan Jian. It was as grand as the heavens, and it was so domineering that it seemed to split open the 9 underworlds of reincarnation. Just like that, it descended from the heavens and chopped down on the black bamboo. Boom! A deafening explosion rang out. The entire sea region shook, and a large crack appeared in the golden starry sky. But what was unbelievable was that this shocking killing move was completely blocked by the black bamboo. As the foot-long black bamboo fell down, the phenomenon of the heavens weeping blood seemed to swallow the universe, surging with an unimaginable divine might. How is this possible? Fan Jian's hair stood on end. What the hell was this? The powerful sky hegemon's sword art stood on top of the bamboo, but it was unable to split it. One had to know that the sky hegemon's sword art's offensive power was unparalleled, and was not inferior to the supreme sage technique. Could it be that the sky bamboo's aspect seed was so heaven-defying? It was like a natural ability that could stir the universe, and the dark holy light filled the sky. Zhu Yanghua did not want to fight with Fan Jian at all. He blocked his killing move and retreated quickly. But he was still a step too late. Su Yan had already arrived. "He's here!" The world was filled with exclamations as they saw a soul-stirring scene. Su Yan had arrived along the way. His body traversed the void, and he suddenly turned into a Kuan Pung, flowing with an unparalleled divine power and aura. Bam! The dark space in the sky was blasted apart, and the bloody vision was collapsing. "Kill!" Su Yan roared, and his palm formed a fist seal. The beginning sutra bloomed, and the universe fist erupted. Together with the power of beginning, it suppressed the vision in the sky. This punch was unparalleled. It broke through the dark world and smashed towards Zhu Yanghua's body. Young Devil King! Zhu Yanghua's face was gloomy. The expert who came was too wild, and he had destroyed the vision of the 1-foot-long black bamboo. The Kuan Peng's power suppressed the black bamboo, and this great divine power temporarily suppressed it. Su Yan finally arrived. With a punch, all directions trembled. The sea that continued to tremble collapsed, and large cracks appeared one after another, forming a huge rift valley in the sea. This Devil King, the people in the distant world were shocked. What kind of aura was this? It was like an invincible true immortal was howling, and the terrifying pressure was suffocating them. "Revive for me!" Zhu Yanghua roared, and the black bamboo shook violently. Visions appeared, transmitting the voices of the gods and devils in the sky. All kinds of mysterious power surged, and it tore apart the layers of Kuan Peng's power. It was about to kill its way out to stop Su Yan. However, Fan Jian instantly attacked, and once again used the sky-dominating sword art to suppress the black bamboo. The next scene was too horrible to look at. Zhu Yanghua waved his hand to block Su Yan's fist, but his arm was shattered by Su Yan's fist. His whole body was trembling, and large amounts of blood spurted out of his pores. "What is this black bamboo?" Fan Jian was shocked. Zhu Yanghua's combat strength was naturally not enough to enter the ranks of the strongest. However, the black bamboo that he controlled was too strong. The Kuan Peng's heavenly power could not suppress it in a short period of time. If the black bamboo was allowed to grow, it would evolve into something very strange in the future. "Zhu Yanghua, you can't escape." Su Yan's expression was cold. He walked with majestic steps, and once again attacked Zhu Yanghua. The Kuan Peng's heavenly power that he released suppressed this small world. The Kuan Peng's power attacked Zhu Yanghua, causing his blood-stained body to crack. His whole body was about to explode under Su Yan's feet. At the same time, the space-time secret treasure that he had stored in his body was also shaken out. It was a space-time cauldron, and Yin Jun Hao was sealed inside. At this moment, Yin Jun Hao felt despair and shame. It was bad enough that he was suppressed and taken away by Zhu Yanghua, but now, he had fallen into Su Yan's hands again. However, Yin Jun Hao really hoped that Su Yan would kill this treacherous Zhu Yanghua. He had infiltrated the Demon Extermination Alliance with evil intentions. He had hidden too deeply. "Young Demon King, you didn't leave me any leeway. I won't let you off in the future," Zhu Yanghua roared. His body was broken, and his injuries were serious. However, he looked fierce and fearless. He wanted to snatch it again. Take Een Jun Hao's corpse. Su Yan's expression was cold. You can't escape. The sky bamboo's roots don't belong to you. Then try it. Zhu Yonghua's eyes were cold. He moved the black bamboo, and the strange bamboo shone with an unparalleled aura. Accompanied by the rain of time, a huge demonic figure appeared. It was like an invincible giant that crossed the river of time and space. Step by step, it gradually became a supreme expert that looked down on the world. Supreme Dharma idol Fanjian was sent flying. He growled, "Be careful, big brother. This black bamboo has been refined by a giant." Before he could finish, the black bamboo had already charged at Su Yan. It was as if a giant prime had thrown out a great killing weapon, descending from the sky to kill Su Yan. Not good. Su Yan's expression changed. He took out the Daluo cauldron and smashed it at the black bamboo. The result made Su Yan's heart ache. The Daluo cauldron was directly destroyed. This treasure couldn't withstand the power of the black bamboo. It was equivalent to a supreme weapon and was extremely powerful. It knocked the Daluo cauldron aside and once again charged at Su Yan. "Bastard, how dare you break my weapon!" Su Yan was enraged. He took out the 9 provinces heaven cauldron. Although it was difficult to revive this item, Su Yan could use it as a weapon. He swung it and smashed it at the black bamboo. Bang! With a loud explosion, the terrifying black bamboo's radiance dimmed as it was struck by the 9 provinces heaven cauldron. But Su Yan wasn't much better off. He staggered backwards, blood seeping out from the corners of his mouth. The web between his thumb and forefinger had cracked open. Layers upon layers of counterforce shook Su Yan's blood and energy, making it difficult for him to remain standing. Su Yan's palm was a bloody mess. He fiercely raised the 9 provinces heaven cauldron again and smashed it at the black bamboo. It was unknown how the strange black bamboo had evolved to this level. It shined and the heavens wept with blood. It flew back like a bolt of lightning, drilling into Zhu Yonghua's body. The latter didn't dare to hesitate. He immediately fled. "You can't escape. Zhu Yonghua, your death has come." Su Yan used the 9 provinces heaven cauldron as a weapon and chased after Zhu Yonghua with surging killing intent. The ancient cauldron was terrifyingly powerful. It didn't have any energy fluctuations, but it possessed an indescribable divine might that could obliterate the black bamboo's strange abilities. Zhu Yonghua's eyes flashed with a sinister light. He flicked his sleeves and a bamboo leaf flew out. The ancient bamboo leaf shined. It was as if a sea of stars was falling down from the heavens. Moreover, it rapidly enlarged, terrifying to the point where it covered the heavens. This was a bamboo leaf that fell from the sky bamboo primogenitor's body. Its value was unimaginable. Once it was used, it was the same as the primogenitor's hand pressing down. Who could contend against it? What is that? Countless cultivators were panic-stricken. The crowd of heroes trembled. Would they sink down with the bamboo leaf or die prematurely? Many people cried out in fear. Their bodies felt as if they would explode. This bamboo leaf was too frightening. It fell from the heavens as if it wanted to destroy everything. Moreover, it covered the boundless sea region. All of this happened in an extremely short period of time. Su Yan didn't panic. He strove to grasp the 9 provinces heaven cauldron. He was prepared to activate the sect's supreme treasure. Bang! All of a sudden, the ends of the world seemed to have exploded. A snow-white jade-like hand appeared. It looked small and exquisite, and the jade fingers were sparkling and translucent. In fact, it was extremely terrifying. It directly swept across. It was so terrifying that the heavens seemed to have cracked open. Su Yan was shocked. The snow-white jade-like hand seemed to have reached out from beyond the heavens. It covered the sky as if the entire golden treasure trove was under its palm. He was shocked. He was shocked. What level of expert was this? Guardian of the Emperor Road? Fan Jian cried out in horror. Chapter 16:16. It was as if a supreme expert had made a move. A palm reached down, causing the heaven and earth to rumble. The entire golden ocean began to tremble. Boom! Millions and millions of waves were raised on the surface of the ocean. The entire ocean seemed to have been split open. The layout began to rotate involuntarily, as if it had turned into a giant golden vortex. A world-shaking aura pervaded the air, as if it was going to destroy the world. There were many experts in the Golden Ocean region. The number of young overlords was innumerable. At this moment, everyone felt a chill from head to toe. They didn't know what was going on, but a mysterious aura was blotting out the sky and pressing down on them. It caused them to tremble and lose control of their legs. They wanted to kneel down and kowtow. Who is this? Or is it some kind of weapon? Has the battle with the young demon king come to an end? The odd heaven saint's son was terrified. The imperial sky Tao diagram was suspended above his head, isolating the suppression of the aura. However, there was also energy that wanted to penetrate through, causing the odd heaven saint's son to stagger. He turned pale with fright, but at the same time, his emotions were surging. The layout of the Golden Ocean region began to rotate under this pressure. The imperial sky Tao diagram once again deduced an even more accurate location. The eye of the ocean is in front, the place where fortunes converge. The odd heaven saint's son was ecstatic. Through the imperial sky Tao diagram, his gaze locked onto the ocean ahead. It was as if the eye of the ocean that had existed for millions and millions of years was flowing with golden radiance. Under the rotation of the layout, the eye of the ocean shook violently as if it was going to fly out. The fortunes are indeed mine. I wonder if the young demon king has been killed? Otherwise, good things come in pairs. The odd heaven saint's son rapidly approached the golden eye of the ocean. Now, the disturbance in the ocean region was great. The heavens and earth were shaking, and the 9 suns were about to fall. The layout of the entire golden treasure ground was shaken. Big brother, let's go. Fan Jian had a bad feeling. The Emperor Road had its own laws. Although the Golden Ocean region didn't have the laws and order of the Emperor Road, the aura clearly came from the outside world. Could it be that something big had happened in the Emperor Road? Could it be that the Emperor Road had been breached? What the hell? Su Yen was astonished. All the hair on his body stood on end. What kind of expert was this? Was the Supreme God sleeping above the eternal heavenly sun resurrected? However, this palm looked extremely delicate. It was clearly a woman's palm. It directly pressed down and suppressed the bamboo leaves. Su Yen was extremely surprised. Was the other party here to fight for the bamboo leaves? However, the bamboo leaf on the sky bamboo progenitor's body didn't show any signs of power. It fell into the snow-white hand's palm and quickly returned to silence. What was going on? In short, the crisis had been resolved. This palm strike didn't emit any killing intent. Otherwise, who knew how many cultivators would have died in the Golden Sea region? Su Yen tried his best to widen his heavenly eye. He looked at the outside world through the large crack opened by the snow-white hand. Massive space-time cracks appeared one after another, clearly pierced through by a formidable strength. It was unknown just how far they extended. Su Yen could faintly make out the blurry figure of a blue-clothed woman at the end. She was the one overlooking the golden treasure trove. Just how special was this woman? Would he be able to travel unimpeded in Emperor Road? Could it be that she was not bound by the rules and order? Su Yan's face turned pale. He suddenly thought of Dao Shuyi, a mysterious woman. He didn't know what level she was at. In short, she didn't appear in the Emperor ranking competition. This woman was relatively special. Now, Su Yen caught a glimpse of a blue-clothed woman. Although the image was a little blurry and mysterious, Su Yen could still feel the divine might that could swallow the river of time. It was difficult to describe how powerful she was. Who is she? Su Yen muttered to himself. He could clearly feel that she was standing in a distant world and looking at him. In her misty eyes, the river of stars was illusory. It was like an ancient, dilapidated universe. It was captivating. Under her gaze, Su Yen felt that his entire person was exposed. He's a little familiar. Strange, she whispered softly. She felt that she had seen him somewhere before. The blue-clothed woman was extremely charming. Her aura suppressed the universe. Her clothes fluttered in the wind. He didn't know where she was standing. In short, she had never made a second move. Emperor Road had its own rules. Although she could break them, she didn't want to. This was because the person who created Emperor Road was someone she respected and admired. She wouldn't break the rules and order of Emperor Road again. Above the golden ocean, the space-time cracks disappeared. The world returned to peace. Big brother, who was that? Fan Jian felt that there was something fishy going on. He said, could it be a powerhouse from the Celestial Court? Or a protector of Emperor Road? He guessed so because Emperor Road was created by the Celestial Court. Although it was a legend, many immortal sects believed it to be true. In short, to break the rules of Emperor Road? Even the Sword Sect's founding ancestor couldn't do it. Fan Jian guessed that it must be a protector of Emperor Road. Su Yen frowned. He didn't think so. They had already broken the rules of Emperor Road by trying to steal the ancient Kuanping's corpse. After all, the 9 continents' heavenly cauldrons were also bound by Emperor Road's rules. However, when they activated the power of the 9 continents' heavenly cauldrons, no protector of Emperor Road appeared. Moreover, the Golden Ocean region was not bound by rules. She's fighting for the bamboo leaf? Su Yen scratched his head. Could this person be related to Heavenly Bamboo's founding ancestor? Unfortunately, Zhu Songhua had taken advantage of the change and escaped. Of course, even without the change, Zhu Songhua, who had the Heavenly Bamboo's founding ancestor's bamboo leaf, was not easy to suppress. Founding ancestor, the founding ancestor has turned into a demon. Su Yen frowned. Zhu Songhua relied on the founding ancestor's root to continuously absorb the corpse qi of fallen powerhouses. With the help of the heretical path, Zhu Songhua's improvement in a short period of time would be shocking. Unfortunately, she had already escaped. Su Yen felt regretful. Let's go. Su Yen did not hesitate and quickly returned to the battlefield. Although he had suppressed Yin Juanhao and scared Zhu Songhua away, the battle was not over yet. There were still many Saint Sun-level powerhouses on the battlefield. The young Devil King had left. This caused the battlefield to erupt into an even more intense battle. Everyone was fighting with their lives on the line, causing the entire sea region to tremble. Bloody light surged and dyed half the sky red. Kill! Before Su Yen arrived, a loud roar resounded between heaven and earth, scattering the bloody light in the sky. The enemies trembled. A large number of experts were alarmed. A terrifying murderous roar shook them until their chi and blood trembled chaotically. Even their flesh shells were about to collapse. They were overwhelmed with shock. What kind of power was this? It could shock heaven and earth and make ghosts and gods weep. Su Yen of the true immortal realm was going to be invincible. It's the Devil King. He's back. A group of Saint Sun-level powerhouses were shocked. Could it be that Zhu Songhua had died? Su Yan's return was too fast. The entire battlefield collapsed under his divine might. That person's divine might was earth-shattering. His killing intent soared into the sky, peerlessly sharp, and he was overlooking the entire battlefield. Boom! There was nothing to say. Su Yen came up and punched. The shattered battlefield shook violently. Waves of terrifying aura surged, as if a prehistoric monster was awakening. The Kuanping's great ability exploded. As usual, it looked down with disdain. Along the way, the heavens collapsed and the earth cracked. Ghosts cried and gods howled. Blood splattered everywhere. The scene was too horrible to look at. Ah! One by one, the bodies of the true immortals were destroyed. Before the Kuanping arrived, they were already in despair. They could not stop Su Yan at all. Boom! A large number of powerhouses' bodies exploded, killed by Su Yan's punch. A large patch of bloody light rippled in the void. Is this Devil King really going to kill all the powerhouses of the Devil Extermination Alliance? These people have great backgrounds. They all have powerful orthodoxies or top families behind them. However, the Devil King did not even ask and directly killed his way over. What's there to say? The struggle for the Emperor's path is a matter of life and death. The young Supremes have all killed their way to the top by stepping on the corpses of their enemies. The spectators in the distance were shocked. The battle was still going on, but the battle was one-sided. Su Yan had arrived. With his current prestige, it was like a thunderbolt suppressing the enemy and intimidating them. Su Yan's battle robes were stained with blood. A terrifying aura was constantly emitted, suppressing the entire battlefield. What was a descendant of a great sect? No matter how shocking his methods were, Su Yan's battle prowess was tyrannical. His fist imprints were matchless, killing one person with each punch. Su Yan's hair danced in the wind. His eyes were like knives that killed people. The enemies were terrified and fled in large numbers. Who dares to fight with me? Su Yan let out a long roar. Tens of thousands of sword lights gushed out from all the pores on his body. It was like a river of stars rushing forward. Pooh! Several true immortal experts who were fleeing collapsed. The sword's edge was exceptionally sharp. The true immortal bodies were cut apart in a single exchange. Young Devil King, don't act recklessly. If you kill us all, can your celestial court withstand the fury of our clans? The fleeing cultivators were terrified. They brought out the last straw in their hearts to suppress the killing intent in Su Yan's heart. However, these words were too laughable for Su Yan. His hair danced in the wind, and the aura he emitted became increasingly cold. A world-shocking abnormal scene was born. This was the birth of a mountain of corpses and a sea of blood. He stretched between heaven and earth, turning into an unrivaled emperor. He stood on the bones of kings and overlooked all living things. Dong! Su Yan erupted with power once again. He brandished his fists and slaughtered his way towards the fleeing enemies. Feel free to use whatever methods you have. I, Su Yan, will accept them all. In the end, Su Yan let out an angry roar. This sea region exploded, becoming riddled with holes. Bloody light overflowed into the sky. The fleeing experts cried out in alarm. Now, they didn't even have the qualifications to flee. This group of people simply couldn't survive. Su Yan didn't plan to let any of them go. Blood splattered all over the sky, and the entire starry sky was tainted by the bloody light. The scene was too savage. In the world filled with the smell of blood, the entire battlefield had been destroyed. Aside from Zhu Yanghua, who had escaped, everyone else had been executed. Su Yan strode through the battlefield. His divine eyes were like lightning, searching for any surviving expert. Once discovered, they would all be killed. Su Yan's aura became more and more shocking. A terrifying figure appeared above the blood-stained sea region. This was the Overlord that looked down on the world. It shook the heavens and the earth as its divine might swept across the vast sea region. Where did the Skirich young master go? Following which, a bone-chilling light flashed from the depths of Su Yan's eyes. He wanted to gather his brothers and kill the Skirich young master. Su Yan had gained too much from his trip to the Golden Oceanic region. He now possessed super-powerful combat strength in the true immortal realm. He also wanted to use this opportunity to eliminate some of his biggest enemies. This is crazy. It seems like he hasn't killed enough. So many people have died. Could it be that he's going to destroy the Emperor Road and end it early? That's a bit too much of a joke. Some people were speechless. The Demon Extermination Alliance had caused a huge commotion. However, some invincible supreme overlords didn't even bother to get involved. Having the Skirich young master was enough. The young Devil King is getting stronger the more he fights. If he continues to fight like this, he'll definitely reach his strongest state in the future. The onlookers in the distance discussed. Was he going to be invincible? He had cultivated a state of mind that was truly invincible in the world. He could fight any strong enemy. This was the belief that only supreme overlords on the Emperor ranking would have. Yesterday, I sat in front of the computer for a long time after returning home. I was in a daze and didn't have the energy to write anymore, so I went to sleep. Haha, I only updated one chapter yesterday. It's a bit embarrassing. I've been writing for 5 or 6 years, and this is the first time I've updated. I'm ashamed. I'll make up for it today. Chapter 16-17. A large silver ship left the blood-stained sea region. The sea region within 1,000,000 miles was shattered, and the world seemed to be wailing and trembling. They're all dead. Countless people trembled and felt their scalps go numb. This battle had come to an end, and the Demon Extermination Alliance had been completely destroyed. The world seemed to have seen a supreme star slowly rising above the ocean. This battle had shaken the entire world. The top 100 competition had not started, but the bloody battle here would shake the entire Undying Sky domain. Hundreds of top experts involved dozens of immortal sections. How could it not cause a storm? In short, this battle had caused the world to lose its color, and the sun and moon lost their light. This also indicated the rise of a young supreme being who looked down on the Emperor's road. The large silver ship drifted on the sea. Su Yen and the others sat cross-legged on the ship, nursing their injuries. They had suffered heavy losses in this battle. De Li and the others had almost died in battle, and their injuries were quite serious. Fortunately, they still had a large amount of immortal body fluid. They could not care less about their losses now, as there was a big battle waiting for them. According to Fan Jian, the Tongtian young master and the Grand Saintess had received news that the Demon Extermination Alliance was missing one person. Where was the mysterious Sky Saint? He had attracted attention, and perhaps he had found the location of the fortune. At present, no one knew what fortune was hidden in the golden waters. Only Su Yen, who had obtained the Sun Mother Sutra, knew the importance of the golden waters. A supreme immortal was sleeping in the sky, and an incomprehensible battle was taking place. Then, there must be something hidden under the golden waters. Perhaps some orthodoxies and inheritances were preserved. Su Yen guessed that the Baokai should be under the golden waters. When Su Yen saw the layout with the heaven-opening brush, he had already locked onto the location of the golden vortex. Therefore, the large silver ship was now approaching the vortex. However, the destination was a little far, and they could not reach the source in a short time. Boom! 2 days later, the qi and blood within Su Yan's body were boiling. His flesh shell was blazing, and his precious body could be said to be terrifying. The moment the golden primordial spirit between his brows and his flesh body merged, his body emitted an immeasurable divine light that illuminated the heaven and earth. It was a shocking manifestation. Su Yan's primordial spirit had reached the peak of the true immortal realm, and he had not properly sorted out his power. After 2 days of cultivation, Su Yen had fully recovered and stood at his peak. Roar, his powerful body, and dragon roars that shook one's soul. Su Yan's physical body became even more dazzling. It was as if he had transformed into a celestial body of the sun. It was extremely intimidating. The invisible yang qi that was rising from his body covered the sky and covered the earth, burning the entire world until it was overflowing with gold. Big brother, what did you get? Fan Jian was astounded. Su Yan's soul core's growth was too shocking, and it would be at the golden immortal realm if it took another step forward. At that time, it would be boundlessly terrifying and shocking. Do you want to inform the Flame Emperor organization to find you a 6 revolutions life soul pill? Yen Ke was serious. Su Yan's primordial spirit was extraordinary. Once he entered the grand immortal realm, Who could compete with him in the Emperor Road? Su Yen opened his eyes and shook his head. How can the grand immortal realm be so easy to break through? My primordial spirit is powerful now, but I don't know much about the grand immortal realm. Even if I rely on pills to break through, the growth of my primordial spirit is limited. This realm is endless. Fan Jian said, I've read many books in the Sword Sect, and there were once heaven-defying figures that directly ascended to the golden immortal realm not long after they broke through into the golden immortal realm. They can be said to be supreme experts that are undying and indestructible. However, such figures are extremely rare, and they're extremely numerous. Yuan and the others were astounded. The golden immortal realm was too formidable. This was a realm of legend, and there were people in the past that had cultivated it. But to attain the golden immortal realm after just a few tens of years after stepping foot into the golden immortal realm was rather unbelievable. Not to mention the grand immortal realm, even the grand immortal realm might not be able to break through in the Emperor Rankings top 100. It's already amazing that half of them can do it. Tensor was looking forward to it. The scripture he obtained was the infinite scripture. The grand immortal realm was the strongest era. It was immeasurable. Su Yen kept his aura. He felt that he was about to enter the sixth heaven of the true immortal realm. His progress was really fast. Su Yan's eyes were like lightning. He did not tell them about the eternal heavenly son's experience. It was too big a matter and involved the strongest battle in the universe. He even suspected that it was related to the ultimate land. The Emperor Road's ultimate land. Su Yen had been looking forward to it for a long time. Only the top 100 of the Emperor ranking were qualified to enter it. The Emperor Road's ultimate land should be soon, right? Su Yan's emotions were complicated. He thought of himself. Could he find the answer in the ultimate land? In short, Su Yen felt that he was getting closer to his goal. Soon. Once the top 100 battle ended, the battle for the ultimate land would begin. At this moment, Su Yen took out the cauldron of time and space. Yin Junhao was suppressed in it and was half dead with serious injuries. Young Devil King. Yin Junhao was furious. He was suppressed, but Su Yen did not seem to have any intention of killing him. What was he trying to do? What are you screaming for? Su Yen said coldly, You're now a prisoner. Cooperate and you can live for a few more days. Ha 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 ha. Yin Junhao screamed, Young Devil King, do you think I'm a spineless coward? You can kill me or torture me as you wish. Let me tell you, the underworld also has the strongest cultivators and the strongest battle physique. It's impossible for you to be invincible in the future. The era of the Celestial Court has ended. No matter how strong you are, even if you can kill your way out of the Emperor Road, you will still have to face the cruel suppression of the Primogenitor Realm cultivators in the future. Just kill him. Why are you wasting your breath on him? Yen Kei's voice was cold. Yin Junhao said sarcastically, the Flame Emperor organization has super wanted criminals, but they don't have any Primogenitor Realm cultivators. They are the invincible giants that look down on the world. You are just ants in their eyes. Yen Kei's eyes were cold as he raised his hand to kill Yin Junhao. Su Yen raised his hand to stop him and said calmly, Why are you looking for trouble when you're already like this? Yin Junhao, you are the son of the sect master of the underworld and have the bloodline of the sect master. Why didn't the underworld give you the elixir of reincarnation? You're too weak. Hearing this, Yin Junhao was stunned and was about to refute. His expression was uncertain. How could the young Devil King know about the elixir of reincarnation? He had a bad feeling and said coldly, Elixir of reincarnation is an ultimate treasure. Even if you give it to me, I can't refine it. Moreover, how would I know if the underworld has the elixir of reincarnation? Boom. Su Yen raised his large hand and smashed Yin Junhao's chest. In an instant, a terrifying aura surged and black runes filled the sky. This was the aura of reincarnation that was so grand that it covered the sky and covered the sun. In a short period of time, the aura engulfed the entire silver ship. Its influence was too great. Yen Kei and the others were shocked. Under the influence of the elixir of reincarnation, they felt like they had fallen into the cycle of reincarnation. The elixir of reincarnation's origin. Miserly Rooster screamed uncontrollably. He saw Su Yen take out a black elixir of reincarnation from Yin Jun Hao's chest. The black elixir of reincarnation was extremely terrifying, as if it was evolving into the 6 paths of reincarnation. Yin Jun Hao was about to go crazy. The elixir of reincarnation's origin was about to merge with his body. Logically speaking, Su Yen shouldn't be able to detect the elixir of reincarnation. But how did he do it? What are you pretending for? If you have it, then you have it. If you don't, then you don't. Su Yen said coldly. Yin Jun Hao, speak honestly or you won't be able to pass this test. Young Devil King. Yin Jun Hao was enraged. His face was ashen as he roared, don't even think about it. You can get whatever you want from my mouth. Don't even think about it. The elixir of reincarnation was too terrifying. If this matter was spread out, it would cause a huge commotion. Even primal ancestor experts wouldn't be able to sit still and take action. Not to mention, this was the legendary elixir of reincarnation. To some of the old giants, the temptation was too great. Who would be able to sit still? Su Yen looked coldly at Yin Jun Hao and smiled. If I'm not wrong, this elixir of reincarnation's origin should be the essence of your reincarnation elixir. I've seen the elixir of reincarnation before and it's obvious that this elixir of reincarnation is not complete. This means that your reincarnation elixir of reincarnation is not fully mature yet. Then, it's very close to maturity. How can you guess the elixir of reincarnation? Don't try to trick me. Yin Jun Hao said coldly. Su Yen, you've refined the elixir of reincarnation. Flame Sparrow suddenly said, the elixir of reincarnation is quite shocking. Maybe you can use the elixir of reincarnation to determine whether reincarnation elixir of reincarnation exists in Underworld. Don't even think about it. This elixir of reincarnation elixir is not something you can refine. Yin Jun Hao sneered. Even I can't do it now. Otherwise, you would be a corpse at my feet right now. At this point, Yin Jun Hao was extremely angry. He felt that he was unlucky. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been the one to lose this time. In this world, what substance could surpass the elixir of reincarnation? It was a pity that Yin Jun Hao couldn't completely refine the elixir of reincarnation with his current cultivation. Otherwise, Su Yen wouldn't have benefited from it. Buzz. Su Yen directly sent the elixir of reincarnation into his chest. Aren't you afraid of exploding? Yin Jun Hao laughed and his eyes became colder. At this moment, Su Yan's chest felt like it was about to explode. It was filled with terrifying fluctuations and vast reincarnation elixir of reincarnation elixir. Boom! Su Yan's body trembled violently. The qi and blood in his body were in turmoil. Blood flowed out from the corner of his mouth. The terrifying reincarnation elixir in his chest was about to tear apart Su Yan's flesh shell and destroy his primordial spirit. Su Yan, Yuan and the others were shocked. It was just an elixir of reincarnation elixir. Why was it so perverse? It was unbearable. This is an elixir of reincarnation elixir. Fan Jian said in shock. Moreover, the elixir of reincarnation is extremely special. Even if it is an immature elixir of reincarnation elixir, it can't be easily refined. Yuan gasped. If it was an immature elixir of reincarnation elixir, it would be incredible. Yin Jun Hao was laughing loudly. He felt very happy and said, You can't take it anymore? I thought you would die. You haven't mastered the strongest Tao of reincarnation, and the elixir of reincarnation is one of the most special elixirs in the world. I didn't expect you to really eat it. You are really courting death." Su Yan was indeed in a terrible state. His body trembled violently, and the qi and blood in his body surged. His body was about to be torn apart by the reincarnation elixir. "Swallow!" Suddenly, Su Yan let out a low roar. His flesh shell looked a little ancient, and his chest was blazing. It vaguely released a supreme aura and the power of the 6 paths of reincarnation. His chest was too blazing. The innate divine ability of his flesh shell bloomed and turned into a small reincarnation elixir. Suddenly, it swallowed the reincarnation elixir of reincarnation elixir. In an instant, the small reincarnation elixir enlarged rapidly. It was ancient and solemn. It was like the reincarnation Daozu that presided over the reincarnation elixir of reincarnation elixir. It had boundless, terrifying fluctuations of time that filled the world. It was like a giant that had existed since ancient times. It was crossing the river of time and heading to this era. "This is impossible." Yin Junhao's scalp was about to explode. He was terrified. This was the legendary seal of reincarnation. Could the young demon king be the reincarnation of a supreme expert of the celestial court? Chapter 16:18. The silver ship sailed on the ocean. The ship was not calm. The light of reincarnation bloomed, and a strong life force was emitted. The essence of the ultimate treasure medicine was quite ridiculous and abnormal. Originally, Yin Junhao thought that Su Yan wanted to use the reincarnation medicine to nourish his body. He knew the special nature of the reincarnation medicine. During the nourishment process, one could die. Without a strong cultivation base, it would be difficult to suppress the essence of the reincarnation medicine. Otherwise, Yin Junhao would have swallowed it and refined it. How could he let Su Yan have it so easily? However, the current situation was beyond his expectations. Su Yan did not intend to nourish his body with the essence of the reincarnation medicine. Instead, he let his body produce a natural mystique to devour and refine it. A natural mystique, as the name suggested, was a kind of inheritance. It could also be said that it was formed by one's body. This was a secret technique that belonged to Su Yan. As it was nurtured by one's body, it would change and become more suitable for one's body. Now, the reincarnation figure in Su Yan's chest was shining brightly. It was like a majestic Tao sovereign opening the reincarnation heavens. Roar! The figure roared as if it had really been resurrected. Its huge figure filled the entire space and time. It bloomed with the light of reincarnation and tore the sky apart. An extremely frightening scene appeared. In the huge crack in the sky, an ancient and huge tunnel suddenly appeared. It was like the legendary reincarnation path that connected the past, present, and future. Unfortunately, it was too blurry and could not be seen clearly. It was like a huge crack in another space and time that was going to lead to the Emperor Road. Reincarnation Seal. This is the legendary Reincarnation Seal. Yin Junhao's face was full of disbelief. He had seen records of the Reincarnation Seal in the ancient books of the underworld. It was said that it was something that would not appear. Although the underworld had mastered the great Tao of reincarnation, they did not believe that a fallen person could be reborn. Legends said that once a person was reborn, the body would give birth to a reincarnation seal. Then, could Su Yan be a living example? Could he be a reincarnated person? Otherwise, how could he explain the reincarnation seal in his body? Reincarnation seal? The flame sparrow was bewildered. This was just a legend. Could the glowing little person in Su Yan's chest really be the seal of samsara? In short, this little person was extremely special. It possessed a type of ancient heavenly might, and it truly was like a reincarnated deity. It flowed with waves of reincarnation light, and large amounts of symbols appeared. They were like innate primitive reincarnation symbols. A stream of reincarnation origin energy was of great help to Su Yen in evolving his innate ability. Gradually, Su Yen entered a state of enlightenment. His precious body bloomed with radiance, emitting the light of reincarnation amidst the holiness. In particular, the little person sitting cross-legged on Su Yan's chest was constantly deducing the great Tao of reincarnation. Moreover, the aura that emerged enveloped Su Yan's entire body. It was a very special transformation. The reincarnated figure resonated with Su Yan's flesh shell, causing his entire flesh shell to become sparkling and translucent. It possessed the aura of reincarnation, as if it was a type of supreme battle constitution. The reincarnation precious body was reborn. In Jun Hao's expression was unsettled. Just what was Su Yan's background? Ah! Following that, In Jun Hao let out a blood-curdling scream as his head buzzed from the beating. Miser Rooster waved his claws and hit In Jun Hao's head, shouting, "Tell me, does the underworld have the ultimate treasure medicine, reincarnation medicine? Where is it?" This was a huge matter. Yuan knew very well that the prehistoric Big Brother had relied on the half-finished reincarnation medicine to recover his terrifying strength. They could not confirm whether the prehistoric Big Brother had truly recovered. Therefore, they were very excited when they heard the news of reincarnation medicine. They had to find out if the underworld had reincarnation medicine. Reincarnation medicine. This was very important. Once the Big Brother recovered, the Celestial Court would have a primogenitor overseeing it. This was the greatest hope of the Celestial Court's rise. Although Su Yen was powerful, he was too insignificant compared to the primogenitor. Su Yen longed for his big brother to return and recover. Bastard, In Jun Hao was furious. He did not expect to fall into such a situation. He could not give in. This was not only because of the underworld, but also because of his own dignity. We have to find out. Flame Sparrow's face was serious. The underworld was vast and had primogenitor overseeing it. Searching for the reincarnation medicine in the underworld? It was impossible. If they could find out about the reincarnation medicine, it would be easier to investigate. Although it was impossible for them or the current strength of the Flame Emperor organization to snatch away the reincarnation elixir, they couldn't just watch as the Lord of Hell swallowed the reincarnation elixir and increased his combat strength. The Lord of the Underworld had lived for a long time. Although the lifespan of a person like him was almost eternal, it was impossible for him to stand at the peak after such a long time. However, the ultimate treasure medicine was different. It was a heaven-defying item. It could easily take tens of millions of years or even longer to grow. The silver ship crossed the sea and approached the source of the medicine. Su Yen should be in seclusion for a few days. We have to hurry and prepare. The top 100 competition was about to begin. However, there was no sign of Baokai. Yuan and the others were worried. If they could not find Baocai's trace, they would have to return. Although the Golden Oceanic region had a shocking creation, the second stage of the Emperor Road also had many great creations unearthed in various regions. It attracted the attention of many. Similarly, a cruel competition broke out and led to large-scale bloodshed. Boom! At this moment, Yuan's aura surged out and skyrocketed. He was breaking through to the fourth heaven of the true immortal realm. De Li and the others had gained a lot from this life-and-death battle. In the next few days, they would continue to break through. Of course, the effect of the immortal body fluid was too great. Every time they broke through a small realm in the true immortal realm, they would gain a lot. Currently, the Flame Emperor organization was searching for the various resources needed for the rank 8 immortal body fluid. In short, they were close to gathering them. Needless to say, Su Yen and the others were the biggest winners from this trip to the Golden Oceanic region. They could rely on the immortal body fluid to break through to the peak of the true immortal realm in a few years. If this news were to spread, it would shock everyone. Although some prosperous immortal sects were qualified to fight for these resources for their disciples, it was impossible for them to provide such top-notch resources to so many people. You have all broken through. Fan Jian felt that he was getting closer to the fifth heaven of the true immortal realm. Su Yan was about to step into the sixth heaven of the true immortal realm. Fan Jian estimated that if they were given a few more years, they would be infinitely close to the peak of the true immortal realm. The end of the Emperor Road and the emergence of a grand heavenly expert was not just a legend. There was a living example. If one really stood in this realm and entered the undying heavenly domain, he would be a primogeniture realm expert. His identity and status would be too extraordinary. The level he would come in contact with would be completely different. Boom! 3 days later, earth-shattering explosions occurred one after another. The entire golden oceanic region was violently overturned. It was a terrifying event. The golden oceanic region seemed to be about to explode. In the direction of the source, a huge wave soared, slapping the golden starry sky. The 9 suns were about to fall. What happened? Dali and the others were awakened. The commotion was too shocking. The golden oceanic region was shaking. How vast was this divine power? It erupted so suddenly and shook the world. The silver ship they were on was shaking. The huge ripples on the surface of the sea were about to destroy the warship. Could it be that the wondrous heaven Holy Sun has really found the creation space? Fan Jian threw out a mirror to reflect the direction of the source. Although it was far away, they could still see that the sea region had exploded. The energy fluctuations were vast. The creation space has really opened. Yen Ke exclaimed, "Quick, full speed ahead. Quick!" Yuan's emotions were in turmoil. The eye of the sea had ruptured, creating a huge crack that led to an unknown realm. Was the Baokai inside? Ah! The casualties in that region were also disastrous. The wondrous heaven's holy child had spent a lot of effort to locate the eye of the sea. He brought a large number of wondrous heaven sect's disciples, causing blood to flow through the sky. The great crack in the eye of the sea contained an extremely terrifying temperature. Even true immortals were burned to ashes. It was a tragic sight. "Open for me!" The wondrous heaven's holy child roared, his large hand fiercely striking forward. The imperial sky Dao diagram erupted with divine radiance, rushing towards the great crack. It was as if it turned into an enormous bridge, passing through the crack in the eye of the sea and leading to the underground world. This scene threw the entire sea region into chaos. Was the golden oceanic region's secret land going to be revealed? The wondrous heaven's holy child had already entered. Many people's eyes turned red, worried that the wondrous heaven's holy child would seize the opportunity first. The Xian people also hoped that they could see the Xian people's #1 supreme being inside. He was unrivaled and shouldn't be so quiet. He should stand up and suppress all the kings, becoming the world's #1 supreme being. He shouldn't be limited to the Xian people. 1. The silver ship quickly approached. At this moment, Su Yan's pupils suddenly opened. His pupils were blazing like a reincarnation vortex, devouring people's souls. Su Yan's flesh shell glowed. It was terrifying. It was as if the reincarnation body had been reborn. Reincarnation runes appeared on his flesh and blood, powerful and terrifying. Reincarnation, vaguely, Su Yan caught the aura of a source. His pair of deep eyes seemed to see through the boundless space and time, and saw the reincarnation herb rooted in the underworld. At this moment, the reincarnation herb of the underworld was getting closer and closer to maturity. The entire dark space trembled. The reincarnation herb glowed, sprinkling down a brilliant rain of reincarnation light. It was very beautiful, but space trembled and was about to explode. One had to know that this was the place where the Lord of the Underworld was in seclusion. Heaven and earth were firm and indestructible, but the ultimate treasure medicine was about to mature and bloom. The rain of reincarnation light that sprinkled down could destroy experts. The entire dark space trembled. This was a substance that made the ancestors of immortal sex go crazy. It was getting closer and closer to the day of its birth. The aura of the reincarnation herb, in a place extremely far away from the underworld, in the boundless void, where mortals couldn't reach, a pair of eyes opened, illuminating the boundless darkness. It was a tall figure with messy hair. He emitted a terrifying aura, shaking the void and space. His matchless majesty shone brightly in the darkness, as if he was standing here looking down on the undying heavenly domain. He was on his way to harvest the reincarnation herb. Similarly, he was about to return. Chapter 16:19. Su Yen and the others worked together to activate the ancient silver ship and began to cross the sea. Boom! The ship's speed increased greatly, causing the surface of the sea to tremble from the pressure. Following which, a large crack appeared on the surface of the sea. The group of cultivators who were rushing towards the treasures were dumbstruck. This was too ferocious. It was like an enormous silver bolt of lightning crossing the sea at an astonishing speed. The opening of the Golden Sea region's space of fortune had already caused chaos in the Golden Sea region. Countless cultivators were rushing towards the destination, and there were also experts who wanted to jump into the eye of the sea. The experts reckoned that the eye of the sea contained great fortunes. Perhaps they could dig out a large number of young fish seedlings, or perhaps the inheritors of a world-shocking orthodoxy. After all, the Golden Sea region feared the birth of young fish seedlings. In short, the situation here was quite terrifying. However, the opening of the eye of the sea was extremely dangerous. There was an astonishing power of time and space within it that crushed a large number of cultivators. The stench of blood filled the air. We can only cross it with supreme treasures. Many people shouted anxiously. After waiting bitterly for more than a year, the space of fortune had finally opened. However, it was very difficult for ordinary treasures to cross into the eye of the sea. Only the inheritors of immortal orthodoxies had the qualifications to cross into the eye of the sea. At present, many experts had already entered. We've arrived. At this moment, a silver ship was sailing at full speed towards the eye of the sea. Yuan raised his hand and threw out a green stone bridge that pierced into the inner world of the eye of the sea. Li and the others crossed the bridge at top speed. Time waited for no one. The space of fortune had already opened, and they had to rush in and fight for it. It's a replica of the heavenly bridge. Didn't the heavenly bridge young master enter it long ago? Some people were astonished. Following which, they saw a group of people crossing the eye of the sea along the bridge. Their expressions were very strange. These were the experts of the Celestial Court. The Demon Extermination Alliance had been destroyed. This was a bloody fact. It was extremely cruel and bloody. Some news had also spread that the Flame Sparrows group had obtained great fortunes and might have captured a large number of young fish seedlings. Then in this year's time, the progress of this group of people was too frightening, possessing world-shocking strength, any one of them able to hold their own. Coupled with the matter of the Kuan Pung mystique, the Celestial Court could be said to be the biggest winner in the Golden Waters. The immortal body fluid would also give the younger generation of this faction a great opportunity to rise. And now, they were all slaughtering their way over, charging into the eye of the sea. A few people trembled in fear. If this group of people truly joined hands, who could match them? The young Demon King was not enough to dominate the entire Golden Waters, right? Not necessarily. The reincarnation body, Tongtian Young Master, Saintus, Mysterious Sky Saint's son, the strongest genius of the immortal clan, the eternal divine body of the Yong family. They are all top-notch young paragons, and they have all entered the eye of the sea. Some people felt that once a large-scale battle broke out in the eye of the sea, it would be a contest between the young supreme martial artists. It was equivalent to the most terrifying battle among the top 100 martial artists. The Xian people's #1 supreme martial artist might even be in the eye of the sea. The storm was a little shocking as it continued to brew. When the time came, it would probably attract a large number of sky prides and overlords from the third stage of the Emperor Road to enter the sea region to seize the great opportunities. Boom! At this moment, the green stone bridge glowed and rippled with terrifying space-time energy, opening up a space-time path. Yuan also felt it was a pity that Daesong was in a deep slumber. Otherwise, Su Yan and Daesong would join hands and sweep through the golden waters. Su Yan's divine eyes were like lightning. He was extremely cautious along the way. This path was extremely special, and there was an astonishing domain structure. Even though it had been broken by the mysterious heaven's holy child, it still contained a type of destructive power. Su Yan's expression was serious. The eternal heavenly sun's layout was already shocking enough. He wondered what was hidden in the eye of the sea. What's that? In the next moment, Su Yan's eyes opened wide. Blazing flames surged and shot out brilliant divine splendor as he stared at the space-time before him. Gradually, the green stone bridge stopped. The aura in front of him was vast and ancient. It was a long golden river that overflowed with resplendent light, and a long river that was as black as ink. The two long rivers contained the essence of creation. One yin and one yang, exceptionally astonishing. The yin-yang Milky Way was like the source of yin and yang, gushing with powerful vitality and releasing a terrifying aura that caused people's hearts to tremble. Yin-yang Milky Way. Yuan turned pale. This yin-yang Milky Way was too magnificent. It looked like a river, but in reality, it was so vast that one couldn't see its end. It was like a yin-yang Milky Way that flowed from prehistoric times. A grand aura rushed over and suppressed everyone's hearts. They couldn't help but feel shocked. I feel a kind of fluctuation from a life-forbidden zone. The flame sparrow's expression was serious. It seemed like the path ahead wasn't so easy to travel. Su Yan was silent. He was using the heaven-opening writing brush in conjunction with the Eye of Heaven escape to observe the yin-yang Milky Way. As expected, the heaven-opening writing brush was worthy of being the celestial court's most powerful treasure. It was fully deserving of being called the mystic sect's most powerful weapon. Once activated, the ancient heaven-opening writing brush bestowed upon Su Yan an extremely powerful vision. Outsiders might think it was the yin-yang Milky Way, but under the heaven-opening writing brush's evolution, the yin-yang Milky Way slowly transformed into a yin-yang fish. It was like a Taiji diagram, surrounded by yin and yang. Moreover, it was rotating and flowing, giving people a visual impact. It was too vast and enormous. They aren't one, Su Yan said in secret. The yin-yang Milky Way was two special paths. One was resplendent and overbearing. The other was surging with darkness, covering the sky and the sun. The aura of death was dense. If others were to choose, they would definitely choose the golden Milky Way. It looked more like a land of creation, and its layout was even somewhat similar to the Golden Ocean region. Why don't we split up and explore both paths? Yuan asked. Now that they were all true Immortal Realm experts, they could preserve their lives even if they encountered the suppression of the strongest battle constitution. Hearing this, Su Yan said, "Let's go closer and take a look. I wonder if the Baokai is inside?" Su Yan approached the yin-yang Milky Way. At this moment, more people had barged in. A large number of them chose the golden Milky Way and rushed in without much hesitation. When Su Yan approached his destination, his expression changed slightly as he caught a familiar aura hidden in the void. A small amount of aura was definitely left behind by the Tai Baokai. Su Yan stretched out his big hand and shook toward the familiar wave. Soon, the void cracked open, and a simple and honest creature with black and white fur jumped out from it. "Baokai!" Dali shouted excitedly. He didn't expect the Tai Baokai to really be here. However, this wasn't its true body. It was just a phantom imprint left behind by the Tai Baokai. It said a sentence at an extremely fast speed and then disappeared. Dark Milky Way. Su Yan's expression was solemn. The phantom imprint left behind by the Baokai was to show them the way. As for the golden Milky Way, the Baokai didn't mention it at all. It was obvious that the dark Milky Way was hiding a shocking fortune. Let's go. Su Yan didn't hesitate and rushed into the dark Milky Way. The young Devil King went to the dark Milky Way. Let's go too. We might be able to get some soup if we follow him. At this moment, some experts who were hesitating about which area to go made a decision and followed the young Devil King into the dark Milky Way. One had to know that the young Devil King was also a grandmaster of the occult arts. In the past, he rebuilt the broken structure of the Jiuzhou Heavenly Cauldron and killed a large number of top experts of the Xian people. They believed that the path chosen by the young Devil King was definitely the location of the fortune. Quickly inform the young master that the young Devil King went to the dark Milky Way. Also, spread the news. I don't believe the reincarnation body and the others can sit still. There were also some people with ice-cold expressions. The Skirich young master was determined to kill the young Devil King. Similarly, the forces of hell wouldn't let Su Yan and the others get stronger and stronger. That would be difficult. Moreover, with the current young Devil King, who would treat him as a soft persimmon, he definitely had the strongest battle strength. The ancient yin-yang Milky Way was surging with a grand airflow. It was as if it was floating in the sea of stars, shocking everyone. When Su Yan really entered the river, the scene in front of him was magnified. He saw a huge, boundless black ocean. It was boundless and he could not see the end. The contrast was too great. They had been in the golden Milky Way for more than a year, but now they had arrived at a pitch-black ocean. So much so that this ocean was very quiet. It looked like the ocean of death. The huge surface of the ocean didn't have any waves. Many cultivators were already exploring the surface of the ocean. Be careful. Su Yan's expression was solemn. The atmosphere here made him feel very uncomfortable. This wasn't a good place. It doesn't look like a place where treasures are hidden. Dali mumbled. This seawater was also quite peculiar. It didn't seem to contain any energy. Was the Baokai really here? More importantly, the energy here was dried up. There wasn't a trace of essence qi in the world. It was completely a land of death and destruction. There's nothing here. It's just the ocean of death. Let's go quickly. We might be able to obtain some fortunes in the golden Milky Way. Many people were disappointed. They felt there was nothing valuable here. Some people didn't believe in heresy and dived into the black ocean. They wanted to see if there were any fortunes below. However, as soon as this person dived in, his body struggled violently. Soon after, he let out a miserable cry and disappeared without a trace. The people nearby were frightened. What was going on? Su Yan also didn't see clearly what kind of creature was hiding in the black ocean. He frowned. There were creatures in the ocean? Yuan suddenly whispered, Su Yan, do you think there are extreme fish below? Su Yan couldn't help but nod. Yuan's guess was quite possible. Just as he was about to investigate, Su Yan's hair stood on end. The calm ocean of death had gradually changed since the death of a cultivator. It possessed a terrifying demonic nature. It seemed to be able to devour all life in the universe. It caused the void of the entire sea to tremble and almost explode. What's this? Large groups of cultivators were terrified. Many of them felt that something was wrong and quickly fled. Not good. Su Yan's expression changed. The black ocean had changed. Huge waves surged, and each wave could shatter the heavens and shatter the stars in the sky. This was an especially shocking scene. The calm ocean of death had turned berserk and boundless waves were surging. Soon, the aura emitted by the black ocean was boundlessly terrifying. The cultivators in the sky fell into the black ocean. Open for me! Su Yan roared. He brought out the Milky Way gourd and opened up a Milky Way sea of stars. It enveloped Yuan and the others, isolating them from the attacks of the huge wave. But even so, the Milky Way gourd was still trembling. From this, one could very well imagine how powerful the attacks were. However, there were only a limited number of people who could resist them. Large groups of cultivators fell into the Black Ocean and soon, they howled in despair. They were no different from the first cultivator who died. What the hell is this place? Can a Baokai survive? Su Yen felt a headache because the Black Ocean had turned berserk once again. On the surface of the sea, tsunamis rumbled as huge waves churned. At the instant the waves rose and fell, the entire sky was blasted apart. The Black Ocean wanted to kill all the experts here. In fact, Su Yen could faintly hear low-sounding roars. There were demons and devils that were hibernating in the Black Ocean that were awakening. They were extremely powerful. Many experts were in despair. Their protective treasures were about to shatter. Su Yen lost his composure. If he didn't have the Milky Way gourd protecting him, he would surely be in mortal danger. But at the next moment, the berserk Black Ocean suddenly trembled violently. A stretch of the supreme ancient immortal realms suddenly appeared, exuding a divine aura that directly suppressed the sea. Chapter 1620. The Black Ocean undulated violently as thunderous booms rang out. The sound of tsunamis was so loud that it was deafening. A shocking scene appeared. The entire supreme ancient immortal realms seemed to have descended, suppressing the Black Ocean. Thunderous roars could be faintly heard from the ocean, as though they came from the depths of hell, filled with terror. Su Yan's expression changed. He stared at the descending sacred buildings. It was like the immortal realms were right in front of him. But to be more accurate, these sacred buildings had always existed. It was only because of the awakening of the Black Ocean that the immortal realms lit up. This was why they were discovered. Boom! No matter how turbulent the Black Ocean was, it had no way to shake off this immortal realms. What is that? Is that a complete place of good fortune left behind from the prehistoric era? At this moment, the hearts of those who were still alive were in turmoil. Was this the appearance of a place of good fortune? This place of treasures had already been opened for a very long time. Now that they saw this scene, the hearts of all the experts couldn't calm down. It was like a paradise in the immortal realms. Resplendent and dazzling light radiated from it, pressing down on the Black Ocean. At first glance, it was like a world of immortals, suppressing the chaotic Black Ocean. A pure and holy aura permeated the air. The experts didn't dare to act recklessly. There was a huge problem with the Black Ocean. There should be a demon sealed below. What kind of enemy was this? After living for so long, it still hadn't died yet? The cultivators gathered here didn't care how strong they were. They were all filled with trepidation towards the mysterious demon in the Black Ocean. Finally, there was a daring cultivator who rushed up. His speed was extremely fast, borrowing the power of a secret treasure to cross the Black Ocean, rushing towards the immortal island. On the way, this cultivator was also frightened half to death. The Black Ocean was still in a frenzy. There seemed to be a formless giant hand grabbing onto his flesh shell, wanting to pull him into the ocean. Su Yen also moved, rapidly crossing the ocean. He didn't sense any danger. Su Yen estimated that the Tai Baokai should be inside the immortal island. There's really something inside. Su Yan's eyes sank. He could faintly sense that in the Black Ocean there was a gigantic blood-colored eye that was staring at him. Its eyes were filled with ruthlessness, like a ferocious beast that had been starving for countless years. "Are you treating me as a tonic?" Su Yen snorted coldly and raised his guard. He was getting closer and closer to the immortal island. The buildings in the sea were extremely magnificent, as if a small world was situated above the sea. They emitted a divine radiance that was exceptionally dazzling. Su Yen dashed onto the island and immediately sensed a tremendous aura surging toward him. He was alarmed. The pressure couldn't be considered a threat to his life, but it wasn't weak either. Su Yen also opened his heavenly eyes to observe the environment of the small world. The aura was too ancient and dignified. There was an aura of great destruction being emitted. Big Brother, this place is somewhat similar to the Four Sacred Sword Domain or the Uncanny Craftsmanship sect. Fan Jian said in a low voice. I have a bold conjecture. Whether it is the Four Sacred Sword Realm, the Uncanny Craftsmanship School, or this place, they were all especially terrifying in the prehistoric era. They flourished to the extreme and experienced the invasion of the Dark Calamity, yet their Tao legacies were not destroyed. What you said is about the same as what I guessed. Below this Black Sea, there might be powerful creatures suppressed. They are still alive, and from this we can deduce that this place might be similar to the epic Severing One Sword. Su Yen nodded. Ever since he experienced the changes of the eternal heavenly sun, Su Yen increasingly felt that there was a great calamity in the prehistoric era. It could also be said that there was a great calamity in the prehistoric era. Billions of years ago, that was the era of chaos, which was the current Emperor Road. One had to admit that the heavenly emperor of the celestial court was too powerful. He reconstructed the time and space of the prehistoric era into the current Emperor Road, which was also the place where the younger generation rose to prominence. Some of the inheritances were also obtained by others. For example, the founder of the Sword Sect must have obtained some other inheritances that were also obtained by experts in the world. The mother-son scripture that Su Yen obtained was naturally one of the greatest gains. Now, billions of years had passed, but the dark calamity was still there. 1,000,000 years ago, the Xian Wang celestial domain suffered an unexpected calamity. Would the future immortal celestial domain be invaded by the dark calamity? Su Yen thought for a while and shook his head. He was thinking too much. This was not a problem that he should be concerned about. The energy here isn't too dense. It's almost completely dissipated. Su Yen stood in the middle of the immortal island and looked around. The layout of this place was extraordinary. A huge immortal fetus stone glowed like jade. Looking ahead, there was an immemorial mountain that towered into the starry sky. There were stars orbiting around the mountain. One could imagine just how majestic this huge mountain was. The vast power that Su Yen had sensed earlier had come from the peak of this huge mountain. There were already people who tried to climb the mountain. However, before they could even walk a short distance, they were shaken and fell down one after another. They were dizzy from the fall. Su Yen had already started climbing the mountain. The vast aura continued to attack him. Although it was strong, it could not cause any substantial damage to Su Yen. Let's go quickly, Su Yen urged. He once again sensed a group of experts coming from the Black Sea. Their auras were astonishing. He had caught the auras of the reincarnated body and the Skirich young master. This was the enemy approaching. Dali and the others sprinted with all their strength. The pressure on the mysterious immemorial mountain also increased steadily as they climbed. Charge! In the end, they roared one after another. Their auras were fully protected. Each of them surged with yang energy, and the strength of their bodies was extraordinary. They ran madly along the way, causing a group of people who were climbing the mountain with difficulty to be envious. It could not be helped. Ordinary people could not bear the pressure of the sacred mountain. They could only look on helplessly as Su Yen and the others climbed the mountain and plucked the great fortunes at the peak. There were also people with vicious mouth. They cursed in their hearts and hoped that they would all die. When they were about to reach the peak, terrifying fluctuations came down from the sky. It was as if the great stars in the heavens were falling down one after another. The aura was especially terrifying. The terrifying power struck their bodies. Tai Gongji and the others were almost unable to bear it. Their flesh was lacerated. Although they were only superficial wounds, they looked extremely miserable and were about to be mangled. Dong! Su Yan's feet fiercely stomped on the ground, his entire body rising from the ground. He was like a celestial body in the universe, majestic and intimidating. He even smashed through the void, instantly rushing towards the mountain peak, stepping into a brand new sacred Pure Land. The scene that greeted him made Su Yan incomparably shocked. He really felt like he arrived at the immortal domain world. This place was too sacred and dignified, like a place of Tao attainment. It also possessed an unmatched aura that had existed since ancient times. "There's someone here?" Su Yan's expression changed. A group of cultivators sat in front of him. It looked a bit unreal, as if a rain of ascension light was scattering down. However, Su Yan didn't see incorrectly. These were bodies of flesh and blood, not an illusory scene. A group of real creatures sat on the mountain peak. "I heard the sound of scriptures." The flame sparrow spoke. Wave after wave of scripture sounds were transmitted by her ears, surging over. Soon after, it was ear-splitting, shaking her soul. It was as if a great yellow bell was ringing beside her ears. Scripture sounds. Su Yan was astonished. He didn't hear anything. Yuan and the others looked at each other. They also didn't hear any scripture sounds. "I really want to see a phoenix?" The miser opened his mouth, somewhat stupefied. He said, "Could it be that you guys didn't see it? A very large phoenix is occupying the front." Dali scratched his head and said, "I seem to have heard the roars of gods and demons. I saw a powerful creature moving the 4 seas and heavens. This is good fortune. Our sect has a similar inheritance." Fan Jian said fiercely, "Let's go quickly. This should be an inheritance flame seed left behind by a prehistoric expert. As long as it's an expert suitable to cultivate his Tao, it will provide guidance." They quickly approached the front. The group of creatures sitting in front of them became more and more clear. They really were living cultivators. There were men and women, old and young. Each and every one of them was like a supreme war god. Even now, their terrifying auras were still leaking out. Su Yan was moved. There were almost 100 powerful cultivators, each of them emitting an especially astonishing aura. There was also a world-shaking battle intent blossoming from them. Moreover, some of them were holding weapons. Even now, they were still emitting a bloody aura. It was unknown just what kind of experts they had slaughtered. Su Yan's breathing was a bit heavy. These people were all extremely shocking. It was a bit difficult to approach them. Every one of them was surging with a great divine might that leaked out on their own. "What are they doing?" Su Yan was alarmed. Over 100 powerful cultivators were mixing their auras. The energy they formed pierced through the archaic Great Peak and continued to suppress the Black Sea. "They are the protectors." Su Yan was moved. His expression was solemn and respectful. A group of powerful protectors had guarded this place for countless years. Their goal was to seal the Black Sea region. Over 100 protectors, perhaps they would never wake up. Their blood and chi were all dried up, and they had long become skin and bones. There was also a large group that had died a long time ago. They were silent, but they were still sitting cross-legged. Their figures were especially large and dazzling. Su Yan sighed. This was a group of heroes. They had protected their home for countless years, risking everything they had. Even when they died, they still didn't leave. Su Yan was surprised. The blazing sparrow appeared in front of a protector. Sure enough, she had obtained something. A lump of precious flame that looked quite special flowed out from the protector's body and pierced through the blazing sparrow's body. In an instant, the blazing sparrow's body blazed countless times. She had obtained a great opportunity. She had obtained the flame seed of a protector. For the blazing sparrow, this was equivalent to a second life. Su Yan was pleasantly surprised. It wasn't just the blazing sparrow. Dali had also obtained the approval of a protector. This was a tall powerhouse that was filled with the aura of a demonic god. He was like an indomitable war god that supported the heavens and earth. Terrifying fist imprints and palm imprints appeared one after another between Dali's eyebrows. Dali let out a low roar. His blood and chi surged. He, who possessed boundless strength, cried out excitedly. He had obtained a shocking inheritance. Yuan has obtained a weapon. Fan Jian's eyes widened. He saw a protector bestow upon Yuan a simple and unadorned black bow. The moment Yuan grasped the bow, he felt as if he had been bestowed with an innate divine ability. The bow was also very terrifying. It caused his blood to rumble. I feel like this rooster has obtained a greater opportunity. Fan Jian was somewhat envious because there was a phoenix here. Its body had long since withered. This was an extinct supreme being that had passed on a divine ability of the true phoenix bloodline to it. Ha 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 ha! A red-haired youth suddenly laughed wildly. It was unknown who this person was, but in short, it was not simple to come here in such a short period of time. He had also obtained the inheritance of a protector. A group of lucky fellows. Fan Jian scratched his head. He hadn't obtained anything, but the inheritance here was indeed not suitable for him. A bit greedy. Su Yan frowned. He discovered that this red-haired youth was staring at a purple drum hanging from the waist of the protector who had passed on the divine ability to him. He wanted to take away this powerful ancient treasure, but unfortunately, the protector's flesh shell glowed and blocked his rude actions. He's already a dead man. Is there a need to leave a treasure to accompany him in death? Even the heavenly merit was given to me. What's a treasure worth? The red-haired youth's temper was very bad. He directly cursed and felt indignant. Noisy. Su Yan's blood and qi surged like a million volcanoes erupting. For a moment, energy fluctuations filled the sky. These protectors were all worthy of respect. After obtaining their inheritance, they were still not satisfied and started cursing. This made Su Yan angry. His black hair danced wildly, and his eyes were even more frightening than a heavenly blade. Author's note: it's so hard to not have a draft. I woke up very early today because of something. Qing Tian is going out today to drive to Bengbu to pick up my grandmother from the hospital. The journey is a bit far, and I estimate that he'll reach home at night. Therefore, the chapter will be updated later, but it won't be delayed. Chapter 1621. Who's there? The red-haired man was enraged. His hair danced in the wind, tearing the void apart. He was a third heaven true immortal. The blood qi in his body was rich, and his fire attribute aura was exuberant. When he looked up at the man who scolded him, the red-haired man's face sank. He felt a chill in his heart and his hair stood on end. Who was the young devil king? He believed that everyone in the Emperor Road knew that the terrifying man standing in front of him was none other than Su Yan. You've received his inheritance, but instead of thanking him, you're here insulting him. Who do you think you are? Su Yan's voice was like thunder, surging with an abnormally terrifying aura that shook heaven and earth. Every word of his caused the red-haired man's blood qi to tremble, and his body felt like it was going to explode. Especially the aura that came rushing at him, suppressing him so much that he trembled. This made the red-haired man panic. This person was too powerful, even more terrifying than the legends. He immediately bowed his head and admitted defeat, saying a lot of good things. This demon is really powerful. That's a humanoid flying centipede, a powerful creature with a ferocious aura. It's like a chicken in front of the young devil king. Serves him right. He's still not satisfied after receiving the inheritance. He's insulting us. If I were the young devil king, I would have killed him with a single palm. Some of the onlookers nearby were speechless. The flying centipede did not have the face to stay here any longer. He ran away, afraid that Su Yan would attack him. Someone else has received the inheritance. More and more experts reached the summit, and all of them were extremely powerful. Most of them were the inheritances of great sections. There were also many failures. However, as more and more people received the inheritance, the commotion became bigger and bigger. This was a land of inheritance. As long as one met the requirements, they would be recognized. There were also those who tried to force their way in, but they all suffered great losses. A few of them almost died. The experts did not dare to act recklessly, and they obediently followed the rules. This bow is really powerful. There are even some inherited divine skills inside. Yuan was pleasantly surprised. He gradually got used to this great killing weapon. Although it was difficult to see its exact grade, this ancient treasure was like adding wings to a tiger for Yuan. Its attack power was extremely domineering. There were very few people who could obtain ancient treasures here, and most of them obtained some ancient technique. Dali, Iron Rooster, and Flame Sparrow, the three of them had obtained divine abilities and secret arts, and even some special inheritances, but they had yet to awaken. Let's take a look at other places. Su Yen withdrew his gaze and said, "They won't be disturbed if they cultivate here. I've explored the nearby area. Baokai must have been here before. It shouldn't have left yet. If that's the case, the Xian people's #1 supreme being is inside the golden heavenly river." Yuan's eyes flashed with coldness. This was Su Yan's future great enemy. The first supreme martial artist of the Xian people was quite mysterious. He hid his strength well, and no one knew whose descendant he was. They were not weak, but Yuan always felt that this group of people was much weaker than the first supreme being of the Xian people. "I think so." Su Yen nodded and said, "But with Baotsai's personality, would he give up the greatest creation? I think there are some big problems in the golden heavenly river, and it's not suitable for us to explore it now. If the golden heavenly river was really more important than this place, Baokai must have left a message for them, and it wouldn't be as simple as asking them to explore the dark heavenly river." Su Yen and the others set off. The mountain peak was very big, and the sun, moon, and stars were as small as dust. One could imagine how amazing this place was. Along the way, they found some palaces, but unfortunately, they didn't find anything. There were already many experts who had reached the mountain peak. Many people were crazily traversing the mountain peak, wanting to find the place of creation first. Boom! From afar, Su Yen heard a deafening sound. The sound was rolling, and it shook the heavens and the earth. There were at least a dozen experts fighting. The energy waves were quite strong, and there were several experts at the Saint Child level fighting with their lives, causing a huge chaotic battle. "What's that?" Yuan looked at the place where they were fighting. There was an ancient pool. The pool was naturally formed, and it was overflowing with auspicious clouds. It was dazzling, and it seemed like some divine precious liquid was being nurtured. However, the precious liquid in the pool was already empty, and only a little golden liquid was left. The drops were sparkling and translucent, and it was filled with vigorous vitality. There was even a feeling of life and death, and it caused many experts to fight bloody battles to obtain the small amount of golden precious liquid. Could it be the legendary Nirvana pool? Fan Jian's heart trembled incomparably as he said in shock, "It should be. If the Nirvana pond wants to nurture the treasure liquid, it would require a long period of accumulation. However, there isn't much treasure liquid left in this pond. Could it be that someone beat us to it? Nirvana liquid." Su Yan's emotions were surging. He had heard of this kind of resource. It was born and nurtured, and it could allow one to undergo nirvana. Its effects were quite heaven-defying, and it was a top-notch resource that could allow one to be reborn. It was something that could only be chanced upon and not sought. The Yong family's eternal divine body is here. At this moment, the situation on the battlefield changed. A blue-haired woman rushed towards the Nirvana pool. Her aura was exceptionally shocking, and her peerlessly beautiful body emitted an eternal light. Her cold face was also filled with a dense majesty. A peerlessly beautiful woman with sky-blue hair, wearing a set of blue battle armor, like an eternal goddess who walked out of the blue sea, raised her jade-like hand to grab the precious liquid in the pool. Su Yen was not in the mood to fight over the pitiful amount of nirvana liquid, because it was too little. There were only a dozen strands, and it was not even a drop. The nirvana liquid was astonishing, but this pitiful amount of nirvana liquid had no effect on him. Boom! In an instant, the dozen experts who were fighting bloody battles joined forces to attack the Yong family's eternal divine body. Yong Qiu-ling frowned, and her white hand rose into the air, releasing an eternal and indestructible aura. It carried an eternal and indestructible power as it struck towards the sky. Eternal divine body. The group of people turned pale and immediately retreated. Only a few experts charged forward, but they were all defeated. The eternal divine body was at the same level as the indestructible body. It was an extremely special kind of physique, and its power gave off a grand and ancient feeling. It was extremely shocking. Yong Qiu-ling shook her head slightly, and then she continued to explore this place, hoping to find more nirvana liquid. Unfortunately, there was nothing nearby. She was even surprised that there were some broken bones, waste blood, and hair in the nirvana pool. Who had come in long ago and was reborn here? Su Yan did not stay here for long, and quickly left to search for other places. The Tai Baokai had come long ago, and the pool of nirvana liquid had been swallowed by it. What did this guy get? At the same time, the news of the nirvana pool spread, causing a great commotion. This was the legendary precious liquid, and if it was cultivated by Tian Nan, any drop of it would be incredible. It's not just one nirvana pool. One by one, the nirvana pools were discovered, and there were already 6 of them. The commotion grew bigger and bigger, and the reincarnated bodies were all shocked. However, the 6 nirvana pools had all been exhausted. Who had swallowed them all? It was reasonable to say that the nirvana pools should have many sources of energy since the Golden Sea region had not opened for a long time. Su Yan was speechless. Was the Baokai knocked out by a meat bun? Where did it go? Su Yan tried to deduce the Baocai's whereabouts, but unfortunately, he couldn't find it. This meant that it had hidden itself very deeply. Had it encountered an enemy? Or was it secretly making a fortune? In short, the experts gathered on the mountain peak were in a frenzy. There was no need to explain the nirvana liquid's effect on them, and everyone wanted to obtain it. However, 6 nirvana pools had been emptied in succession, and there was nothing valuable left. Something's not right. On this day, Su Yan's expression changed. His eyes were bright as he looked through the vast territory and saw a distant world. A small hillside was glowing, and something underground was awakening. It tore apart the soil and emitted a shocking nirvana aura. Not good, let's go. Su Yan thought of something and instantly crossed over to the destination at an extremely fast speed. At the same time, the commotion caused by this place attracted many experts. The light of the nirvana liquid. Many people lost their composure as a large group of experts rushed over. A small hillside was about to collapse. Soil and rocks were rolling, and smoke and dust filled the sky. Thick nirvana liquid splendor gushed out from the cracked mud layer, causing everyone's eyes to turn red with envy. A large group of experts wanted to rush in and collect the nirvana liquid. Wave after wave of horrifying airflow from afar arrived here in an instant. The light of reincarnation burned in the sky. It was a terrifying figure like a supreme god of war. His flesh was bathed in the light of reincarnation, powerful and terrifying. Reincarnation physique. Everyone's face turned green. The strongest person in Emperor Road had arrived. Who could stand against him? Almost everyone in the field was suppressed. Even the Supreme Maiden and Yong Qiu-ling, 2 extremely outstanding talents in the distant world, rushed over. There were also dozens of descendants of great sects who came with bloodshot eyes. The nirvana liquid gushed into the sky, and the scene was shocking. How much nirvana liquid was there? It was still unknown. In any case, it attracted a group of top experts. Open! The reincarnation physique was very domineering. He waved his fist and broke through the barrier. Extremely bright light leaked out, and it was so dazzling that it made people's eyes bleed. The nirvana liquid inside had penetrated the sky, forming a nirvana dragon that danced in the universe. Unbelievable! You can't find so much nirvana liquid in the world. The reincarnation physique was overjoyed. He raised his big hand and slammed it down. His appearance was extremely domineering. It seemed like he wanted to suppress everything and seal away the entire place, leaving no chance for others. Boom! In that instant, another frightening shadow appeared in the void. That person's black hair danced in the wind. His vitality was overwhelming, and he was like a supreme master of the world. He waved his huge fist and hit the reincarnation physique. "How dare you stop me?" The reincarnation physique was furious. Seeing the young Devil King's fist coming at him, his eyes widened in anger. His entire body's reincarnation energy was stirred up. He waved his big hand and attacked Su Yan from all directions. The light of reincarnation exploded, and the terrifying aura it emitted paralyzed many people on the ground. This was the reincarnation physique of the underworld. He attacked Su Yan in a wild and domineering manner. Chapter 1622. The young Supreme Being exploded in the sky, his murderous aura filling the sky. There was also a suffocating aura that spread out and engulfed the entire land, although it seemed to be silent. However, some of the cultivators who arrived at the Nirvana pond were trembling in fear. Their bodies were in unbearable pain, as if they had been hit by an immortal Tao instrument or bombarded by a cosmic devil star. They were speechless. How strong were these two? The reincarnation body and the young Devil King were both outstanding talents of the Emperor Road. Both of them had the unparalleled strength to fight their way into the top 10 of the future Emperor ranking. Now they were facing the same situation. The energy storm that leaked out from the light collided with each other, causing the world to lose its color and rumble. The moment the two outstanding talents attacked, it was as if two stars in the universe had crossed the sky and attacked each other. Boom! A deafening explosion shook the world. This was the sound of thunder from the 9 heavens, accompanied by a sea of energy ripples that swept across the world. Some of the cultivators were sent flying like kites with broken strings. They spat out mouthfuls of blood and fell heavily to the ground. Their bodies were trembling, and it would be difficult for them to get up in a short period of time. How is this possible? They were terrified mainly because they were too close. Otherwise, they would not be in such a sorry state. They were not weak, but facing the reincarnation body and the young Devil King, they felt helpless and bitter. Hiss! The crowd sucked in a breath of cold air. The struggle between young Supreme Beings was extremely shocking. The young Devil King and the strongest reincarnation body of the underworld clashed. It was equivalent to a decisive battle between the most terrifying sky prides in the Emperor Road battlefield. The energy ripples filled the sky and did not dissipate for a long time. "Young Devil King, give me your life!" The reincarnation body screamed. His shell was terrifying, as if he was born with the 6 paths of reincarnation. His entire body shone brightly, and the sky was torn apart. Large black cracks appeared one after another. Under the destruction, the reincarnation body was much more terrifying, causing a golden storm. This person was too terrifying. He was a legendary figure, but he was different from Su Yan. Su Yan was Yingjie, who rose from the weak. The world knew how powerful Su Yan was, but they did not know his current strongest combat strength. They did not know what level he was at in the Emperor Road. Now they could see everything at a glance. Kill! The roar was fierce and had a frightening penetrative power. It was even more ferocious than the roar of a true dragon. Su Yan let out a long roar. His disheveled hair danced in the wind as his battle aura surged. His blood was boiling as he yearned to fight with the strongest physique. Buzz! Su Yan's corporeal body was blazing. No one could tell what kind of physique he had. In short, his aura was ever-changing. In the end, his surging yang qi drowned the world. Boom. There was nothing much to say. Su Yen punched forward, hitting the reincarnation body. The Devil King is so cruel, many girls' beautiful faces turned pale. One had to know that he was facing the legendary reincarnation physique, which was one of the most powerful physiques in the world. He was going to directly charge up and clash with the reincarnation physique. Boom. They directly attacked each other, causing the heaven and earth to boil. The experts gathered in all directions were terrified. The energy storms created by their battle caused their bodies to tremble. They were all shocked. The Devil King blocked it. He is not inferior to the strongest physique. The world was in an uproar. Many successors of the great sects lost their composure, as expected of the strongest successor of the celestial court. He was not at a disadvantage in the face of the reincarnation physique. This was the rise of a terrifying genius who was qualified to look down on the Emperor Road in the future. Whoosh! Suddenly, Yong Chuling rushed towards the small slope that had collapsed. Her beautiful face flashed with excitement as her beautiful eyes stared unblinkingly at the scene below the small slope that had exploded. The energy accumulated in this Nirvana pond was ridiculous. The Nirvana treasured liquid in it was rolling like an ocean, forming a Nirvana dragon that jumped in the Nirvana pond. This pond of Nirvana treasured liquid was rare. Begging, it would be of great help to anyone. In the next moment, Yong Chuling's beautiful figure stopped in the void. Her blue hair danced in the wind. Her beauty was breathtaking. She was like an eternal goddess, pure and noble to the extreme. She frowned slightly and stared at Su Yen, who appeared here, and said, "You want to block my way?" The onlookers nearby were shocked. What was the young demon king doing? He had fought with the reincarnation physique several times, and now he was directly facing the eternal divine physique. One had to know that this was not a weakling. Many people hoped that they would fight so that they could take advantage of the situation. Otherwise, with the current situation, it was impossible for those who were not strong enough to participate. The Nirvana treasured liquid was too important. Anyone who obtained it would have a substantial change, and they would be qualified to compete for a stronger position on the Emperor board in the future. Who would not be jealous of a pond of Nirvana treasured liquid? Sorry. Su Yen stood calmly, and a powerful aura flashed in his deep eyes. He said, "There is an old friend of mine in the Nirvana pond. If you all rush in to intercept the Nirvana treasured liquid, it will affect his breakthrough." What? There is an expert in seclusion in there? Look, there's really a living being cultivating. Many people noticed that within the dazzling brilliance of the pool of rebirth, there was a blurred beast figure cultivating within it. Its mouth and nose emanated the light of rebirth, and it even swallowed the dragons of rebirth one after another before penetrating into its fleshly shell. It had even reached a critical moment in its cultivation, and the sleeping creature was awakening. Although its aura was a little slow, it was very close to coming out of seclusion. This was a pond of Nirvana treasured liquid. Who would not want to obtain and occupy it? Who would have thought that someone would beat them to it? With the rarity of this thing, there might be a top existence in the Emperor Road in the future. Yong Chuling frowned and said coldly, "The Nirvana treasured liquid is an item without an owner. Moreover, there is so much Nirvana treasured liquid that it can't use up." Before Yong Chuling could finish, Su Yen waved his hand and said, "There is so much Nirvana treasured liquid. My friend can't use it all. When he comes out of seclusion, I will not fight for the Nirvana treasured liquid." "Brother Su, don't you think you're being a little overbearing?" At this time, a figure full of vitality stood out. He was very majestic, like an immortal sun burning brightly. He was bathed in golden light, like a terrifying god of war descending to the mortal realm, giving off a strong pressure to the experts present. Jin Tiangang. Someone was shocked. This was the strongest expert of the Undying clan, and his vitality was terrifying and full of majesty. He said coldly, "Everyone wants the Nirvana treasured liquid. How much nirvana-treasured liquid can we wait for your friend to come out of seclusion? He was ready to make a move. No one would give up such a great opportunity. Moreover, the nirvana-treasured liquid was very important to cultivators with strong physical bodies. Jin Tiangang, the reincarnation body, and Yong Qiuling all wanted the nirvana-treasured liquid to evolve into a true immortal body. The immortal Tao realm was one small realm after another, and it was not easy to break through. If they had the help of the nirvana-treasured liquid, they could accumulate a shocking foundation in a short time. On Su Yan's side, there were only 3 great experts, but none of them were weak. The world's #1 sword stood here, and there was even a martial godlike man holding a bow. This group was very strong. If they really fought, it would be disadvantageous for everyone. Of course, the most terrifying one was still the young Devil King, who intimidated them greatly. Thus, the experts here did not want to be the first to make a move. The great opportunity was right in front of them, and fighting the young Devil King now was not a good thing. This Su's friend is about to come out of seclusion. Su Yan's black hair scattered, and his aura began to flourish. This one does not want to be your enemy. In short, when he comes out of seclusion, I will turn around and leave. Heh, young Devil King, you have a good plan. Everyone, don't be tricked by him. Someone secretly said, and his voice was very cold. Everyone knows that the young Devil King is a master of the occult arts. If he was the first to discover the Nirvana Pond, wouldn't he choose to seal it? You all believe such laughable words? Yong Qiuling's group's expression turned cold. The words were not wrong. Moreover, the creature inside had been asleep for a very long time. Where did this scoundrel come from? Su Yan's eyes blossomed with killing intent. He coldly shouted, "You can even say such stupid words. Why would I, Su Yan, use such an excuse to trick you all?" Heh, young Devil King, don't be too overbearing. You want to take the Nirvana elixir for yourself? That is simply impossible. The person who spoke in the dark continued. His voice was very cold. Even if the expert inside is really your old friend, what qualifications do you have to monopolize the fortune inside the Nirvana Pond? Don't make us wait here. Young Devil King, don't think too highly of yourself. Don't think that everyone will give you some leeway. I have an idea. Wouldn't it be better if we all attack together and directly crush the young Devil King to death? That's exactly what I was thinking. The reincarnated body spoke. His aura became increasingly unstable. Of course, he was not stupid enough to fight to the death with the young Devil King. Seizing the Nirvana elixir was the most important thing. Cowardly scoundrel, who do you think you are to bewitch people from the dark? Su Yan coldly shouted. His eyes were like golden lanterns as he stared at the crowd. He said, "Come out if you have the guts. I want to see if you dare to say it in front of me again." Young Devil King, who do you think you are? The expert who spoke in the dark once again spoke. He wanted to incite the other experts to attack together. However, before he could finish his words, Su Yan's aura suddenly became ferocious. His primordial spirit blossomed with an extremely powerful insight. In an instant, he broke through the void and attacked a red-haired man in the crowd. What? The red-haired man's hair stood on end. He was the flying centipede. However, he did not expect Su Yan to be able to lock onto his position and directly attack him. So it's you. Su Yan was furious. He raised his big hand and emitted an extremely terrifying aura. It suppressed the flying centipede. Young Devil King, you don't need to kill here, right? The reincarnated body's eyes turned cold. A ray of reincarnation light shot out from his chest and rushed toward the flying centipede. Come here and die. Su Yan's reply was simple and domineering. Although there was the power of reincarnation blocking, he released the power of aid escape. Terrifying fluctuations filled the entire space. Even the power of reincarnation could not seal off Su Yan's killing intent. Brother, save me! The flying centipede was terrified. Su Yan's aura had already rushed over. It was like an immortal Kunping had crossed through space and time. He was terrified. His body trembled violently and collapsed. The flying centipede felt a chill from head to toe. How powerful was this person? He exploded from so far away and could severely injure him in one blow. He turned around and ran. His blood-stained body turned into a ferocious red centipede. He tore through the void and wanted to escape far away. However, Su Yan's mastery of the world's layout was shocking. The flying centipede tore through the void and instantly trembled. He rushed over with the power of ghost escape and launched an attack with the power of wind escape. The entire void passage collapsed completely. Ah no. The flying centipede was in despair. There was nowhere to run. The entire world was filled with Su Yan's killing aura. In an instant, the heavenly wind whistled and came crashing down with a rumble. Under the horrifying gazes of the surrounding people, the red centipede trembled and its suppressed flesh shell exploded. It could not withstand Su Yan's killing aura at all. It died. Its flesh shell exploded. Even its primordial spirit could not escape. This was a bloody scene of its body and soul being destroyed. It stunned everyone. I'll say it again. The people in the Nirvana pond are my old friends. Whoever dares to take a step forward will be my enemy. Su Yan's battle aura soared into the sky. The dignity of an expert surged like the sea. He faced the strongest of the various races alone without changing his expression. Chapter 1623. The reincarnated body had already tried to stop him, but he couldn't save the flying centipede. The young demon king's mastery of the Mystic Gate was truly superb. How many Mystic Gate escape techniques did he obtain? The flying centipede is really unlucky. It's quite sad that he died just like that. This proves how terrifying the young demon king is. He's the top talent of the Emperor Road. We can't afford to provoke him. Many people's faces were gloomy. The nearby Mystic Sky sex experts were also looking extremely grim. How did Su Yan obtain other escape techniques? Someone whispered, should we inform the saint? This is Nirvana treasured liquid. Its price is higher than the sky. This pool of Nirvana treasured liquid is enough for the saint to complete a major transformation. There's no time. Moreover, there's also a great opportunity in the golden heavenly river. The saint won't leave. Someone suggested that they should wait and see. At the critical moment, they could also try to interfere with the experts in the Nirvana pool. Su Yan's ferocious aura was earth-shattering. His majestic aura overflowed with chi and blood, and he destroyed the flying centipede with brute force. Too many people were tense. Su Yan's murderous aura was too dense. His eyes shot out shocking divine light, and his aura was about to go berserk. At this time, the experts didn't want to fight to the death with Su Xianren. If they really fought, the others would benefit. For a moment, the reincarnated body and the others were in a dilemma. No one expected Su Yan to say such harsh words. It seemed that the creature in the Nirvana pool had something to do with him. Boom! Suddenly, the ancient Nirvana pool shook violently. The awakened creature in the pool spewed out a large amount of energy. The entire Nirvana pool seemed a little dim. Countless Nirvana treasured liquid penetrated Bao-Cai's flesh shell. Suddenly, Bao-Cai's aura surged endlessly like a sleeping ancestral dragon. Its terrifying aura leaked out and affected the sky and earth. Yuan knew very well that Bao-Cai's cultivation was not ordinary. It had mastered the ancestral dragon's superpower, which was the most powerful superpower of the true dragon bloodline. Such strong potential. I wonder which race this creature is from. It's definitely not ordinary. The nearby onlookers were speechless. Just how powerful was this sleeping creature? The energy fluctuations were too terrifying. It had already reached the most critical moment of its breakthrough. It had revived from its deep slumber, and its aura was becoming more and more berserk. The faces of Jin Tiangang and the others sank. They could see that the Nirvana Pond's energy was rapidly depleting. If this continued, there wouldn't be much Nirvana treasured liquid left. Murderous intent blossomed in the eyes of the reincarnated body. If this creature was really Su Yan's friend, then their combination would be even more powerful and intimidating. If he didn't make a move at this juncture, the consequences would be very serious. Do you smell the aroma? Some people felt shaken. The creature within the pond of rebirth seemed to have shed its mortal body and was about to transform into an immortal. This is Nirvana precious liquid, a resource that is hard to find in the world. This pool of Nirvana precious liquid will definitely allow him to be reborn, just like an innate immortal spirit. It might even be able to nurture an extremely powerful combat constitution. Yeah, Nirvana treasured liquid is hard to come by. Someone spoke and his eyes were burning. Even though Su Xianren was here, they were beginning to become restless. The atmosphere in the field was incomparably oppressive. Cold murderous intent blossomed unceasingly, and powerful auras continued to soar into the heavens. There were already a group of people who couldn't help but make a move. The reincarnated body's eyes were cold and eerie. He secretly took out a great killing weapon. He was really ready to make a move. Even if he couldn't obtain the Nirvana treasured liquid, he couldn't just watch Su Yan's friend complete his breakthrough. Otherwise, if this matter really spread out, their reputations would be greatly damaged, and they would be helping Su Yan for no reason at all. Nirvana treasured liquid. At this moment, a cry of surprise was heard. A woman with the countenance of a flower and the countenance of the moon had arrived. One after another, she was a peerless beauty that was rarely seen in the outside world. They formed a peerless scenery. Although there were two supreme young women here, the Supreme Saintess and Yong Qiuling, who possessed exceptional beauty, the appearance of this group of women was also incomparably gorgeous and eye-catching. It's the Skirich young master. A few people heaved a sigh of relief. Once this person arrived, things would become serious. He and Su Yan had a deep enmity, and there might be a decisive battle. Sure enough, in the distant space, a handsome man wearing a silver robe arrived. His immortal body was shining, and his magical power was as vigorous as the sea. His body transmitted the sound of scriptures that penetrated the heaven and earth, forming a shocking scripture order. This treasure. The Skirich young master was shocked. He came here for the young Devil King, but he didn't expect to see a pool of Nirvana treasured liquid. His eyes immediately turned red, and he quickly noticed the situation here. When he saw Su Yan blocking the crowd, he sneered. "What are you doing here? Are you qualified to stand here?" "Whether I'm qualified or not, you'll know once you try," Su Yan coldly shouted. His aura also surged. The young master wanted to kill Su Yan, but Su Yan also wanted to kill him. Su Yan was determined to obtain the heaven-piercing halberd. If he could obtain this supreme killing weapon, it would be of great importance to the current Su Yan. Although he had some secret treasures, there was still a big gap between them and the heaven-piercing halberd. "Arrogant bastard!" The young master angrily laughed. "I think you can scram now. You don't have enough power to block this place, yet you still want to dominate the entire battlefield? Don't you think you're making a fool of yourself? You and I together, the three of us can suppress him." The reincarnation body spoke, wanting to cooperate with the young master. Maybe they could also obtain all of the Nirvana treasured liquid. "Haha, do I need to work with you to kill him?" The heaven-piercing halberd replied coldly. His words were cold and did not give any face. The reincarnation body was silent. This was his first time meeting the young master. This person was indeed as arrogant as the rumors said. He was arrogant and domineering, relying on the heaven-piercing old man. Did he really think he was one of the top 3 elites? Which of the top 10 in Emperor Road had not killed their way to the top? Being praised did not mean that they had the combat power of the top 10. There had been cases of elites with rare talent. It was nothing new for them to die in the top 100. Moreover, this was Emperor Road. The heaven-piercing young master had a group of beauties with him. He really looked like a spoiled brat. Heaven-piercing young master, you're really arrogant, Su Yen sneered. He was trying his best to stall for time, giving the Baokai enough time to break through. He said, "Do you think you're invincible? Why did you run away in the sea region back then?" Hearing this, the Tongtian young master glanced at the group of beauties behind him. He smiled and said, "Inji, I heard that you know him. Aren't you going to greet him since you're old friends?" The golden fairy was stunning. She had snow-white skin and golden hair. She was extremely beautiful. Her entire body was overflowing with golden holy radiance. Her perfect figure was impressive. She looked at Su Yen with her beautiful eyes. Her emotions were extremely complicated. She did not expect that Su Yen, who had died in the darkness back then, was still alive. She did not expect to meet him in such a situation. "It's you." Su Yen was a little surprised. He then waved at Inji and said, "Why are you still standing there? Don't you think you should do something?" This strange scene made the scene a little creepy. What was going on? Even Yong Chuling looked at Inji with an interested gaze. She had to say, this woman was stunning. Could she be related to Su Yen? Everyone knew that a woman beside the heaven-piercing young master had been captured alive by Su Yen. This matter had caused quite a storm back then. The heaven-piercing young master's face suddenly turned gloomy. Su Yan's words were too strange. What did he mean? Go and kill him. He forcibly suppressed the anger in his heart and said coldly to Inji, "Don't worry. If he dares to move, I will kill him." This is going to be a good show. Fan Jian's blood was boiling. He did not know what kind of exciting scene would happen next. Many people were paying attention to the Golden Maiden. Her footsteps looked heavy. As she walked, divine light lingered around her body. It was dazzling. "Take out your treasure and imprison him." The heaven-piercing young master secretly transmitted his voice. "Inji, I hope you don't disappoint me. Don't forget your identity. Understand?" Inji's body trembled slightly. She took a deep breath and walked toward Su Yen. A secret treasure with a terrifying aura appeared in her palm. It was a purple copper ring. It emitted the 5 elements saint light and caused the void to tremble. 5 elements ring. Someone was shocked. This was an extremely rare treasure. Once the purple copper ring was awakened, the 5 elements saint force would erupt and easily imprison experts. This was not an ordinary treasure at all. It was a treasure given to Inji by the heaven-piercing elder after she returned from guarding the immortal weapon tree. It could forcibly imprison a peak true immortal. It was extremely rare. She came. Step by step, she walked toward Su Yen. The 5 elements ring in her hand bloomed with brilliant light. 5 immortal Tao symbols also appeared one after another, corresponding to the 5 elements' great Tao. Fan Jian stared. What was going on? Was she going to suppress Su Yen? Su Yen was extremely calm from the beginning to the end. He looked at the Golden Maiden. Boom! At this moment, the aura that emerged from the Nirvana pond was even more shocking. The creature that was hibernating inside was about to awaken. A faint, deep roar exploded, causing the Nirvana pond to fiercely tremble. There was even the outline of a huge true dragon. A mysterious creature with a true dragon on its back. The phenomenon was monstrous. The onlookers exclaimed, and their eyes began to turn red. The reincarnated bodies could no longer hold back and began to walk toward the Nirvana pond. Yong Chuling and the others now hoped to see the heaven-piercing young master stop the young demon king. I wonder how powerful Baokai will be after coming out of seclusion. Yuan's face was full of anticipation. This could be considered the last descendant of Dragon City. With the ancestral dragon on his back, his chi and blood were extremely dense, drowning the world. The speed of his transformation was soaring. Hurry up and attack. The heaven-piercing young master reprimanded. He was not a fool. The Nirvana precious liquid was the most important thing now. Boom! In an instant, the 5 elements ring enlarged and bloomed with a monstrous purple light. 5 immortal Tao symbols burned one after another and poured down. The vast 5 elements field covered the sky and the sun. It was also filled with an extremely terrifying sealing power. You want to attack me? Su Yen looked at Inji with his deep eyes and said, Have you forgotten our agreement? I haven't. Her expression was complicated. She raised her jade-like hand and threw out the 5 elements ring. The 5 elements ring fell directly in front of the heaven-piercing young master. Inji quickly stood beside Su Yen and said lightly to the heaven-piercing young master, Help me return the 5 elements ring to old man Tongtian. I have an agreement with him. If Su Yen can survive, I am willing to be his servant. Since he has appeared, I can fulfill my promise.